Yo, what is up, everybody? DPS Podcast, episode 33. Right back at you. Man, listen, it's been a crazy day, and Slow-Mo was up here tutoring me on, OBS, because, he is, not only is he the encyclopedia of Mass Effect, he also knows what he's doing when it comes to this whole OBS thing. Your boy's still learning it, but, yeah, man, we gonna get directly right into this, man. It's just me and the boy Slow-Mo today, and, without further ado, let me introduce Nostradamus himself, Slow-Mo Backslap. How you been doing, man? What's been going on with you?
Man, I've been chilling, doing my thing out here in these video game streets, which is nothing. It's like no, seriously. I've been playing games. Not really enjoying games. I'm pretty sure some of you guys already know. Like that, you always playing games, you ain't never enjoying them. I'm sorry, but
Luke gonna say something about that.
Right. But look, when you get a game and you're enjoying yourself, and then the game crashes on you, you look on Twitter and it's like crashes everywhere. I know we're gonna get into that later, but like there's that, and then you got another game that I was playing where they just keep nerfing everything, and I'm just like, you know what? Nah, man. Nah, I need to find something different to play, and maybe I'm gonna have something different to play real soon. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But how you doing, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. Let me get shout out to the homeboy BitCloud Gaming with the $5 holler. He says, "Get with times, old man." LOL. Have a good show, guys. Much love. I see. I don't know which one he's talking about when he says, get with the times, old man. Maybe you. He could be talking about me, but we all know that Ryan is he's more older in his the way he carries himself than he is in his actual age, because he still look like a kid, but it is what it is. But
yeah, what's up, Big Cloud, man? How's it going, bro?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, we gotta give a shout out to the people in the chat that did show up a little early. We got Def Floyd saying 10 minutes, baby. Yeah, that was 20 minutes ago. Hustle and Motivate always showing up. What's going on, Hustle? We got Mitch Dies a Lot. Listen, Mitch, do you play Returnal? Because
I was about to say,
if you play Returnal, that name fits perfectly. So yeah, man. Outside of that, man, just work and not playing Returnal. I played it one time. We're gonna get into that a little later in the discussion and stuff. But I played a little bit, and when I mean a little bit, not a lot at all.
Yeah, that's the same for me too. I probably have about, I know like my running time probably is longer because I was trying to do the thing that people do where they just keep your system in rest mode so that you don't like lose where you're at.
Oh yeah, it's some fraudulent times out there right now. I just thought about that because when you're in rest mode, the game stays suspended, but it still counts.
Right, it still counts. So like, but what that didn't save me because I was going around trying to like do stuff in the first biome, trying to get ready, and it ended up crashing on me anyway. So yeah, I did all this stuff. I had a full health bar, or at least a full health bar as you can get at that point, and all this other stuff. And then I'm like, all right, let me go take on this boss again because I already lost to him once,
right?
And nope. Game crashed on me, and I was just like, yo, I did all that for nothing. And then like the frustration I had at that moment, I was just like, nah, fam, I'm just gonna take a break. And then that's when I saw all the other people on Twitter, like I'm seeing like video clips of people. I should have recorded mine, honestly, but like video clips of people having crashes, and then people saying, oh, it's because you got the DLC outfit on. I'm like,
the most silliest thing ever.
I'm like, I don't even have the DLC outfit, so I don't know how. Like, so it's just I don't think they know what the issue is. They put out a patch, and that patch did not go well. That they was deleting people's saves, and there's no real save in it. But I guess like your progress,
yeah,
and that's just like, That's a
Yeah,
no-no.
when
You
people keep
can't.
saying stuff about saves, I'm like, there is no saves. But I mean, I guess there's like some
I
type
think
of
they mean their progress, because like, let's say if you die but you made it all the way to Biome 5, then like
your
you
progress is still
already,
there. You just got to go back
yeah,
and equip everything that
right.
you or find again everything that you lost.
Well, I mean, like if you die, you lose this stuff, but you still get like there's some permanent things that you
Yeah,
get,
the permanent
and
unlocks you get from each
I
boss.
don't think you had, and so because I haven't gotten to the second biome because I barely played it, but like I think after you beat a boss, you don't have to fight the boss again, and there should be a way for you to like teleport further. But although I had heard from people like Rand, and shout out to Randall Thor, who I think he was, I saw him write something on Twitter where he was like he was going through each biome completely to make sure that he got fully stocked up before he would go to the biome he died in. So like stuff like that, like if you lose your progression in that, like you're pretty much having to start over fighting the first boss and the second, third. What? Who wants to do all that? Like that's just, you can't have issues like that in a game where it's already fairly unforgiving if you die.
Yeah,
So you got to make sure like that should have been priority number one going into post production before the game came out. Make sure that this is good,
right.
because we can't have people getting bugged out, glitched out, game crashes, not being able to open doors, being stuck in rooms, and having to reset the game and lose progress when there isn't like any way to get all that they work for hours back. Like, I'm not much of a roguelike fan, but I've seen a lot of people who are roguelike fans saying like it's like that in other roguelites, but the runs aren't that long. So if you got really long runs, then you gotta have some kind of
You got to say pause when you say
backup system.
runs.
Pause, sorry.
Because you never know what kind of runs you can have.
You got the runs where you on the toilet, like that kind of, not that kind of runs. A shout out to Gerard Mack with the $5 super chat. He said, "What's going on, Gaming Forte and Slow Mo back slap? Glad to be here. Good bros. Looking forward to the topics. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Appreciate you coming through, Gerard." I think that I don't know if Returnal is really going to be something that I play until like later this summer.
Oh,
I'm
man.
looking at like next week is Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'm going to be streaming my playthroughs of that, like the entire trilogy. I'm gonna stream all of it,
Yeah.
and we got a lot of people are hyped for Resident Evil 8, which we're going to talk about, and that's coming out tonight / tomorrow, whatever. And
But we
it
might as well, we're out of order, so we might as well just we done already dove deep into this whole Returnal situation,
right,
so we might as well
right.
just keep it there, man. But
No, don't do that. No. Go back to Resident Evil.
you want to go?
Stick,
Well, I mean, do we?
I mean, we had an order. It's
Oh
just
no,
like
but
we started talking
well,
about.
we're triggered. This game is very triggering.
Let me. I'll talk about what I've been playing this week and what I'm getting into. And matter of fact,
Okay.
and I could actually talk about something that I was going to do a video on earlier today, but instead we can just talk about it. So again, I've been playing Outriders.
Tell me about it.
I've been working on my Devastator build, and I'm having a lot of fun with the Devastator right now.
That class is trash, by the way.
It's hey, look, it does not have as much build diversity as the other classes, but
that's why. It has its place.
The one that I'm using is nasty.
Talk about the one where you got to have specific builds to actually make it usable in the game.
Well,
certain weapons, certain skills.
No.
You can't
certain
just
weapons, no.
You can't just drop a Christmas tree on top of it like you can Technomancer and it farts out greatness.
No, but it still works when I do matchmaking and it actually works. And I complete an exhibition, I'm the one with the most damage. So
okay.
that's what's going on. This is anomaly
Cat Daddy
power.
might fight you on that one.
No, I think Cat Daddy's done. Elder Cat is done with Outrider. So yeah, I thought I was done, but it just pulled me back in.
You did say you was done, and now you're back in there.
just to I can get my boys through the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I said I'll help Lord Cognito, who they said they restored his account, but he can't even log in. So who knows with him? And there's a couple of the people I know that said they needed help getting through the campaign. So as soon as I help them through it, I'm just kind of just playing, some other stuff, and trying to min max the build as much as possible while they keep nerfing everything.
Right.
And then I'm done. I'm gonna uninstall it and move on because it's just nothing really left to do in it. I keep saying this every week, but I gotta finish Persona 5
You're
Strikers.
never gonna finish that. It's like 5 weeks in a row now. Everybody take a counter in the chat. How many times?
Stop it. It's been 3.
It'll be 4 next week. And he'll still say the same thing.
Nope. I'm gonna start playing it tomorrow because I'm not interested in.
When are you gonna beat the game? That's what I want to know.
Well,
when will the game be beat by?
It's fairly long. It's almost as long as Persona 5. Yes. I heard. So I mean, it's gonna be a while, but I just gotta get back to playing.
When's the last time you played it?
Probably about before Outriders came out.
Oh Lord, that's been a month.
So yeah, once I so as long as I get, because it's a great game. So as soon as I get back to playing it, I'm good to go. Okay. So but no, today there's a lot of news that came out today. We should probably hit all these little minor things.
No, I'm saying we gonna hit a bunch of that minor stuff. We can like hit micro ones in between each topic. But while you were on the whole Outriders thing, did you see like the post of people that got their gear back and how people can fly? Bless these people.
No, I did not.
Lord have. I saw a couple of people. It looked. I haven't confirmed with Cognito because he.
No, I saw Cognito. He can't log in.
Oh, so he still can't log in. Okay, right. But I saw a couple people that were blessed. They blessed these people with like legendary versions of every piece of gear that they had.
It's not good enough.
Oh, it's still not good enough. I agree, but
to lose out on playing the game for nearly a month
versus it's definitely not.
Considering it's a looter, right?
Yeah.
So the gear that they got, it's not max level. If this would be fine.
I think they put it at the level that they were at when they lost their account, but lost their gear.
Exactly the problem.
So they still got to level that stuff up.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like it costs it
costs a lot at that
to level up a legendary. Now, I love the option of saying, because like in some games like Borderlands, you get a legendary at level 11. It's great for now, but you might as well delete it or dismantle it or sell it.
Yeah.
Once it's no longer doing damage for you, because it's worthless. Now, I do like that People Can Fly gave you the option to level it up. And you could technically level it all the way up to level 50.
Right.
But it's so expensive to do that.
Oh, you're talking about a lot of titanium.
It takes that's just like that resource is not worth it for that. So shout out to Enrique, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, a $2 super chat. So smash that like button. What's up, Forte and Slow Mo? What's up, Enrique? Yeah, look, I don't know. I need to refresh my browser here, but I see 23 people in the chat and 4 likes. I don't know about. Okay, it's 19. My bad. It's 19.
See, look, you just made us lose a person because you said that. We were at 23. Now we're at 22.
Fine. They'll come back.
Oh God.
No, but yeah. But what I'm saying is that if you're really into loot shooters like that, and you care about the end game as much as the campaign, that stuff to lose out on like 3 weeks of playing the game only to get legendaries that you only realistically can use for like 2 or 3 hours,
right,
before they're out level. That's not good enough. It's just not. Like if it was me, I would have preferred you give me a legendary that's at my level. And you give me that same legendary that's level 50. Now I got something. And for them, that's an incentive on the player to continue to keep playing the game after they've already been basically treated unfairly by the developer and taking so long to restore their account. Like that would have been going the extra mile to kind of make people to try to make it right. And you can't get time back. Honestly, you can't really make it right. But that I thought that would have been better. But no, there's all that stuff. Did you see what happened with the Division?
No, I didn't.
So Ubisoft came out with a announcement today that of a new Division game. It's a spinoff called Heartland.
Okay.
And so the Division Heartland is being developed by Red Storm Studio. Red Storm is I think they're based out of North Carolina, and Red Storm has been probably the second biggest studio that's been working on a Division since its inception. They worked on Division 1 and Division 2. Red Storm is the studio that's responsible for the Dark Zone.
Right.
So everything that's PvP related in the Division games has been Red Storm. So if you love the Dark Zone, that was them. If you loved Skirmish and some of the other PvP games done, modes that they had done, then yeah, that's Red Storm. So it kind of makes sense considering people were really upset with the Division 2 very lackluster PvP and almost no updates of PvP from launch on. It was just like they had PvP stuff in there, and then all the other updates were either a raid or some other PvE mode. And people wondered, like, what the heck happened to the PvP in this game? The dark zones, the 3 dark zones they had in Division 2 just never recaptured the tension and the feeling of the dark zone in Division 1. So what happened? Well, this is apparently what happened. Red Storm was doing a completely different spin-off game. Now, I'm a bit miffed on this because I remember back, probably a little over a year ago, the former director for Division 1 and 2, Julian Garrity, he's now the lead director on the Star Wars game that Massive is doing. Julian Garrity was on Twitter asking people about what kind of spin-off game would they like to see, or where would they want to see the Division go next. And overwhelmingly, people was like, they wanted a single player, narrative driven Division game. Same like kind of skills and gameplay style, just way more narrative driven than what we get right now. And now, like, the Division story is not good. Let's not like kid ourselves here. But
Right.
the setting and the premise, the plot is very interesting, and something. There's a reason why they're making a movie. And so the fact that like Julian Garrity even tweeted out, like, it seems like a lot of you guys are really interested in this kind of thing. It's just like, oh, what's about to happen? I even made a video about it, like, over a year ago, only for it to not be it. And the reason why we know it's not it is they released what they call like a screenshot in the news update, and the screenshot's got like Tom Clancy's. Actually, I'm gonna throw it in the Discord for you to take a look, okay?
Okay.
So you can see what I'm talking about. It's in the dojo.
I just see oh, there it is.
Yeah. So what this shows, and if you could, I don't know if you can transition to the
you can
to the don't transition to your ready to transition. But anyway,
no,
there's a screenshot at the bottom, and that screenshot shows the timeline of the Division, and it shows everything that they have announced at this point that's coming out, and it looks like that's everything. But it starts with the Division, then it's like Division 2, then it's Warlords of New York, the Warlords of New York expansion. That was really good. Then there's Division Heartland, and then it's that new content they're coming out for the Division 2 later this year, like sometime in they said sometime in the holiday or this fall, so somewhere in there. Then there's a Division mobile game that literally nobody asked for.
Of course.
And then there is the Division novel that I'll probably read just because I'm a nerd like that. And then there's the Division movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain. So, and that's going to be on Netflix. So there's all of that. And if you look at the timeline, it looks like Division Heartland is probably gonna be coming out this summer because the new content for Division 2. That yeah, go ahead and scroll down so that people can see the timeline and then click on the time on the screenshot at the bottom of the page.
I don't want notifications. Ubisoft. Where is it at?
What?
Oh, it's asked for notifications on the screen.
Oh.
You said where on the timeline?
Yeah. In fact, if you just scroll up so that people can see
here.
The timeline.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. So if you look at how that timeline is set up, if you look at how it's set up, you see it starts on from the very left, like it's like chronological, and you see where it starts. There's the division. They don't have dates or anything because, of course, they don't want if they like miss a season or a certain timetable, they don't want people to be upset. But if you see how it starts with Division, then Division 2, Warlords of New York, and then there's Heartland in between the Division 2 content. They already said that new content for Division 2 is supposed to be coming out at the end of this year. So Heartland's got to be like this summer or this fall, essentially. And so that's a free-to-play game. So you already know there's going to be microtransactions.
Absolutely.
It's I am interested in playing it just because it's the Division. I do not care for what kind of game this might be. Like, is it going to be battle royale? I think it's probably going to be battle royale, honestly, because Ubisoft does not have a consistent. I know they got Hyper? What is it?
Hyperscape.
Hyperscape. I think that game is dead. I haven't heard anybody talk about that game in a long time. So I think like every publisher
That's supposed to be their moneymaker.
Yeah, well, all battle royales are supposed to be a money maker. Everybody wants a Fortnite.
Yeah.
Every publisher wants a Fortnite. Activision has Warzone. EA has Apex Legends.
Yep.
Everyone wants one. And so every publisher that we know of has tried to launch one and they haven't, and most of them have not caught on. Warzone and Apex Legends have. Fortnite is Fortnite, but Ubisoft doesn't have one. Hyperscape ain't it. I tried it. That game's trash. I'm sorry. It's not good. So I think Heartland is a battle royale game. As I said before, Red Storm is a PvP studio.
They are.
So
they made all the Ghost Recon games up to that point.
Yeah, and Gerard Mack is right. He said the one good thing about Red Storm is they truly have pedigree. And if you could think about like what the Dark Zone was like, the Dark Zone was so unforgiving.
It was.
And and there was no fairness. There was no parity. There was no balance. It was, if my build was overpowered and you just started and you didn't walk your little happy-go-lucky agent into the Dark Zone thinking you were good, you would get, deleted. Okay, like you would get destroyed in seconds. You know, and it's not. There's nothing fair about it. And the trash talking, the all the stuff, it's truly grimy in there. And I can imagine Red Storm, just the more you play, the better you're at it, and really helping people get rewards based off of how they do. It could be knowing how they did the survival mode for Division 1, which is kind of battle royale-ish, but it has a much better narrative to it, and it uses the weather in New York during the winter storm where you can't be out in the elements and you could die from exposure instead of dying from, say, NPC, enemy killing you or another player killing you. Like stuff like that is very unique, and that's why I'm interested in it. But anyway, there is on that page that Forte is showing for everybody watching, there is a sign up sheet to sign up for the test phase. There's a test beta that they're doing. If you get in, you gotta sign an NDA, so you can't say anything about whether you're in or not. So I'm not going to say anything about whether I'm in or not.
I'm about to say, are you in, Slow-Mo?
Why would you ask me that question? I literally just said I cannot say about anything about whether I'm internet.
I know you can. It was just funny to ask you.
You know what?
I want to see if you stick to the NDA, man.
Look, I stick to my NDAs. If I had the NDA, I don't know
oh,
if
there
I
it
have
is.
an NDA.
You just told him.
I said, no, I did. I said I stick to my NDAs. I didn't say I had an NDA for that. I said I stick to my NDAs.
How many NDAs do you have? How many NDAs are you under?
I can't even tell you how many NDAs I'm under. I have a plethora of NDAs.
That's a pretty big word.
I have a plethora of NDAs, and I can't tell you about any single one of them. But if you are interested in that and trying out Heartland, testing it out, and giving them feedback on how it is, go to the webpage and sign up for it, and check it out. You'll see. Yeah, but whether you get there or not,
I'm gonna sign up for it. Actually, I'm in the midst of doing it right now.
Nice. But yeah, I probably want to transition back to the main screen. I don't want people to see your information if you start signing up.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I mastered this part of Discord. Just keep this window up and use a different one.
Gotcha. Yeah, but no, like that was some pretty interesting news. The movie I didn't know it was Netflix that was doing the movie, or maybe I did know that, but also the director for the Division movie turns out is the guy which is really weird because this guy has mostly done like buddy comedies and just straight up comedies, but he directed Dodgeball, the Dodgeball movie.
Dodgeball.
And he directed We're the Millers. You ever watch that movie?
I have.
Yeah, that movie's pretty funny.
It is.
But then his last two movies were pretty floppy. They're pretty floppish.
Listen, man, there's a lot of movies out here that get praised, above praise, but then if you really just sit back and analyze them, it's like movies aren't really that good.
No one ever thought his last two movies were good. Skyscraper.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
Listen,
Skyscraper.
The only good thing about that movie, my wife said, was the fact that The Rock was in it, and that's like her favorite person in the whole world. Other than that, I said, I don't know if the movie is good, because she was like, listen, The Rock made that movie as good as it could be.
That is not a good recommendation at all. The other movie he did was another Rock movie, Central Intelligence, with Kevin Hart.
With Kevin Hart, that was actually pretty funny.
I thought that
it was funny. It was funny, but it was like, huh? Why you got Rock up here looking like acting like a kid?
Hey, look, man. The Rock and Kevin Hart movies are. I feel like if you watched one, you have watched all of them.
Yes, true. So there's really Well, you even think that with Hobbs and Shaw, because he was in that too. He was the air marshal. Remember?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah. That was a little bit different, but still
a little bit.
Yeah, whatever. So that guy is I don't know how good this guy is at, because like there's nothing funny about The Division. It's very like dark, and so I don't know how this guy is going to like make that transition. He clearly hasn't in any of his other movies, from doing good comedies to a mediocre buddy cop comedy to a really bad action movie. So we'll see what happens with it. It's coming to Netflix, so just
can't go
people
wrong
just gonna
with
watch
that.
it because they ain't gotta spend actual money that they didn't already spend on the sub for it. So you know how it is.
Yeah, I definitely know. Well,
but is this a topic? It's not a topic today. You don't have it on list. It's a lot of stuff.
No, that is not. Trust me, that was going to be one of the ones we were going to throw in the middle. So first, okay, let's just talk about this Resident Evil thing before I explode. Okay. We'll just talk about the Resident Evil thing, man. So have you seen the reviews? Resident Evil comes out tomorrow. A lot of people are very, very excited to play the game. Me, not so much. It doesn't have a VR mode, and that's the main reason that my kid wants to play it. So maybe it's going to get patched in later. But for me, I really wasn't too interested in the beginning because I'm not really the biggest of Resident Evil fans. I think ever since ever since Resident Evil 6, I kind of just fell off the wagon. But it looks like, as of right now, the reviews are holding pretty strong. We're looking at like an 85, 86 Metacritic score on the game.
84.
So, 84. Oh, that was like,
Yeah.
that was like a couple hours ago when I looked at it. So yeah, it dropped 2 points. But so what do you think about the reviews? Is this pretty much right in line with what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought it was going to be like a mid-80s kind of game. It's Resident Evil, so this is always interesting with the way reviewers are when it comes to long-standing franchises. I think there is a bit of fatigue when it comes to reviews where these games don't really hit like as soon as you stop hitting 90s, you never hit 90s for these games again. Like as soon as one of your games is no longer a 90 meta, it becomes you're just going to be hitting those 80s, which is fine. I don't really care about reviews like that.
That's kind of what Halo did.
yeah, right. As soon as they stop hitting 90s, it's all 80s.
They can't hit 90 again.
And this is
same
probably
thing with Gears of War.
Yeah, this is going to be this is going to probably upset some people, but this is the truth. And I always say this because people get mad at me for telling the truth, and then they don't want to mention it again when I turn out to be right.
Okay, let's go.
Once you start hitting 80s on a series, you're never going back to 90s.
Ooh, don't say that,
so
man.
That's Gears and that's Halo. That doesn't mean it's going to be a bad game. It just means that don't expect the 90 Metacritic. So you out here betting people on whether something's going to hit a 90, just understand that you're probably just giving money away because it's not going to happen. Halo Infinite's not going to hit a 90 Metacritic. It's not. It's because even if they I'm not saying it's going to be a masterpiece or amazing. I don't think it will be. I think it'll probably be decent. That's or just very good. I'm not quite certain, but. If it was the best Halo that 343 could do, people are still going to be kind of like, yeah, it's just more Halo. Yeah, it's just more Gears. So unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles when it comes to long-standing franchises. If you're not doing something completely out of left field, in order to really get you up there, you gotta do like a God of War kind of thing. You gotta completely change the franchise and then be good and then be really good. Like you can't completely change the franchise and then suck. You gotta be completely change it and then be excellent in order to break out of that mode. And so, all that said about Resident Evil, I did watch some of these huge YouTubers who get the stuff early. I watched like the first maybe 45 minutes of the opening game. The story looks really good. Like I don't like Resident Evil like that, but the story was pretty interesting starting out. Up to the point where it almost got me kind of wanting to play it. But but not then I started seeing more of the gameplay and I was like, this ain't for me.
Did you play 7?
I did not play 7.
7 was really good. 7 was actually really, really good. For me, I just think that for a lot of people, especially with the reviewers, I think a lot of people just fell off after 5. 5 is like the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people, and then 6 was just a straight action movie. That's pretty much all that was. 7 kind of brought people back because they did bring back the essence of what Resident Evil was. I still think they haven't really went down the alley of where zombies really are a part of the game like they used to be. But they did bring a suspense and horror aspect back to the game with 7. Because that family was creepy as hell.
You have to do that because zombies are boring.
Yeah, they are.
The zombie aspect of stuff is boring. What is interesting about zombie kind of content is the interactions with people, surviving in a fallen world where there is no longer the law and order keep shackling people to do the right thing.
Right.
And when you live in that kind of atmosphere, I know that's not quite Resident Evil. Resident Evil is a lot of like evil corporation kind of stuff, and I mean now they got like big 7 foot tall fully figured vampire women, and and it's going a little bit different, and even got like
got werewolves and everything.
This isn't a spoiler because they showed this already before the game came out, but you got Chris Redfield out here looking like a villain, and it's just like, what's happening?
Here, like he's shooting people.
Right.
Like what's going on?
Like, what are you doing? What is happening? So it's like that kind of stuff has me intrigued, but
right.
I don't like playing the game. So it's one of those scenarios where I like where they're going with the story, but I don't like playing the game. So I'm just not gonna play the game.
Let me ask you something, Slow-Mo. $1 million question. If Sony allegedly didn't block this game from going into Game Pass and you had your Game Pass Ultimate subscription, would you play this game then? Because at that point, the price of the game is out the window. So once again, if you didn't have to buy it and it was part of your membership, would you have a completely different thought on I'm going to play the game?
You got kind of garbled there. I couldn't hear you. Say that one more time. No, I couldn't hear you because it started like started bobbing for a moment.
Discord was like, nah, son. I said allegedly with Sony supposedly blocking, this from going into Game Pass. With your Game Pass subscription, your Ultimate subscription, and if it was available on PC inside of Xbox Game Pass, would you still wouldn't play it?
Still wouldn't play it. Look, Resident Evil 7 was in Game Pass at one point, I think. And
but it's different once it's an older game, and as much as people love to say, and I'm one of the people that says, Game Pass is pretty great. Whenever a game goes in there, especially games that you never played before, it's an opportunity for you to play it, especially if you don't own it. Now, I own Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation because that's where we play because of VR and everything. But I do think that it is a avenue for people to do it, and I think it's different when it's an older game that goes into Game Pass like Resident Evil 7 versus the new hotness Resident Evil 8. So even if you didn't play 7 and it was in there, it was kind of off your radar. You was like, I didn't play it when it came out, so I'm really not interested in it now. And that's the one thing I appreciate about you, Slow-Mo, because you're not going to really just play something just to play it. Now, it's a little different when you're talking about a brand new, not a brand new IP, but a brand new numbered sequel inside of that IP that might be going into a service like that day and date. But you're saying that you, no matter what, you still wouldn't have played it, even if they basically said, here, download it on this platform right now and enjoy it as long as you have your membership. So that's pretty much what you're saying.
The only way I can see myself playing something like that is if like it was something like the community wanted me to play. And so it's like people were like, I really, really want to see you play this game. Maybe I would think about it. But it's like,
that's true. You did play Bugsnax.
Yeah. So it's just like, for me, if it's just in Game Pass, the option is there, which I think would be great because that's just, really adds value to the service and allows people who really want to play the game to not have to spend the additionally on the money to do so. And Capcom is getting that bag from Xbox, and Xbox is everyone wins basically.
Right.
But for me, that's just not a game that I care about. There's stuff in Game Pass that I think is quality that I just don't care about. But I'm not going to play it. MLB The Show, quality baseball simulator. I don't care.
I don't know, man. It
don't mean nothing to me.
Supposedly MLB on Xbox platforms broke the game. Game don't run good on Xbox like it does on PlayStation.
Oh, really?
That's what Digital Foundry said.
Well, look, you got a studio that has basically been making nothing.
They
but
do
games
Kool-Aid
on PlayStation.
in that Xbox version.
No, that's not it.
I know that's not it.
for them to have to continue the license on, I don't know if they had enough time to do a port justice, and the differences that you have to do with getting used to the tools that work for Xbox.
Oh, we're bringing up the tools.
Tools, like, you know, like it's just stuff
Tools.
like that. Like they maybe next year it'll be
Well, next year
more,
it'll be a lot better.
yeah, and maybe they'll actually put it out on PC. Who knows? But
Yeah.
it's but I just with this game, I like the fact that it's got a good Metacritic score and the story looks good, and I hope people really enjoy it. I think what I might do, you know, maybe because I like the story of the premise, but I
Right.
don't want to play it. Maybe I'll watch, like, you know,
You gonna watch
someone.
Rad Brad play it?
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will watch
Or watch
Ratbat
Mooch
play
or
it.
somebody play it, or Enrique. Well, Enrique ain't gonna play this because you know he's scared.
Right.
He don't play.
Enrique.
He ain't playing
Enrique ain't
this.
playing this.
He ain't
Yeah,
playing
no.
this. We can tell him that is more. We can tell him the game is 90% action and 10% horror, and he could be like, "That 10% scares me, bro."
Enrique will play B Money in 2K before he plays this game. So,
Oh man, pick your
but
pill.
no,
Pick your pill. Do want to let's see, a couple people in the chat that did join. We got Sir Taz that showed up. What's up, Taz, homeboy? We also got Mitch. He dies a lot. Oh, well, yeah, I said his name earlier because oh yeah, Mitch, let me know. We did ask, I don't know if you heard us, but are you playing Returnal? Because you know your name kind of goes along with it. We also got Dak in the building. We got One Bad Mother up in the building. Yeah, man, we appreciate all of you guys stopping by and everything. But yeah, just closing out Resident Evil. I think in general, even the reviewers are saying that this is a really, really good mix of like the horror aspect along with the action. It harkens back a little bit more to Resident Evil 4 than it does with Resident Evil 7. I mean, not 7, 6. So it probably takes the 6 and 7 formula and combines them together really well, it looks like.
mm-hmm.
At a certain point, though, this game was made for people that like games like this, people that like games like Outlast and
we got a correction in the chat. Enrique says he is playing it. So Enrique,
what?
you should stream it, man. You
yeah,
should stream
yeah,
yourself playing
yeah.
it.
Turn your camera on.
So we can hear you. We can see you, you know, freaked out the entire time. That'd be great.
Exactly. We got to see that, sir. Gregor Von Doom, shout out to you showing up. I guess Division 2 Psycho the Zombie event this week because RE8 is dropping. They really, you know what, they actually are really good with these themed events just to keep it keep the narrative going. And
I tell you, this cross publisher like thing with Resident Evil and the Division is so weird. It really is
well,
weird.
first of all, the characters look nothing, absolutely nothing.
They messed up by making people think that you were actually getting a skin for Resident Evil characters,
and all you were getting was outfits.
All you were getting was the
people.
outfits. Is your agent with those outfits. Now that you get your head around that, like the Jill outfit and Lincoln, wait a minute, what's his name? Chris Redfield. What's the other one? That was in 4. What's the guy's name in 4?
4 what?
Resident Evil 4.
For wasn't that Leon?
Leon. I said Lincoln. Leon. That's
yeah, Leon.
Leon Kennedy. Like their more traditional, more popular outfits are represented in the Division games, and it's just like it's so weird. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did something extra or like that, or if Resident Evil did something Division related or something like that. It's just weird, like to see 2 publishers collaborating like that. It's usually, if you see some kind of crossover stuff, it's usually within the same publisher's IP.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Shout out to the homeboy Erodimus with the $5 holler. Saw him late, but if Halo doesn't bring us a perfect Star Wars story about Luke, then it's a flop. I don't know. Some people out here going to tell you that they need to stay away from Star Wars as much as possible because Star
343.
Yeah, some people will tell you that because you know Star Wars has been a flop ever since the original series came out in some people's eyes.
You want to? Hey, this kind of leads to some of our little minor topics. You
No,
want to talk about that?
that's yeah. Matter of fact, that's a good segue about
So yeah,
the
let's talk about this
coalition.
rumor.
This
Yeah.
rumor about the coalition may not be making Gears of War games only
No,
anymore.
no.
Which one?
Well, yeah, right.
No,
right.
that's the one. Well, that's the one.
That's the rumor I heard that they're making 2 IPs.
They're making 2 IPs and one
Gears
could possibly.
6.
Yep.
And they're making a new IP, which could be it. So if the rumor is true that they have the license for Star Wars, a Star Wars game, okay. The Coalition makes good games. I know there are some Gears fans that have their issues with the Coalition, but I think their games are solid. I'm a Gears fan, but not on the PvP side, more on the PvE side. I liked what they did with Gears 5. That said, I do not want a Star Wars game that plays like Gears.
Oh no, I don't want to bounce off walls.
No, I need that. You know how like I'm always about developers leveling up. And what I mean by developer leveling up is that if you can nail a certain kind of game.
Well, you're talking about like how, shout out to Housemark, and we're gonna talk about that later, but how they went from the
twin stick shooters to a third person perspective,
but still kept the same type of gameplay, but they made it in the third person aspect, which literally they leveled up their development and they knocked it out of the park with that.
Yeah, look, the gameplay works. The game don't work, but the gameplay works.
Well, we go
Housemark, but in that sense, I think Housemark did level up.
They did level up.
They did a AAA game and it was good. Respawn showed that they're more than just a developer that can do first person shooters with Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes.
Playground Games is on the it's their turn. It's their turn to show. Can you be more than just a developer that makes amazing racing games? Can you do a Fable? And so I would like to see the Coalition try that. I think we're going to see that with Machine Games, with the Indiana Jones game. I do not think that's going to be a first-person shooter. Like, absolutely no way. That's Indiana. It's going to be third-person perspective. It's going to be very, very, very kind of Uncharted-like. Because Uncharted basically is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but that's a mass murder simulation too, though.
True. Like it's gotta be. There has to be some differences. You can't just go straight up Tomb Raider / Uncharted with Indiana Jones. You need to be a little different. He is, even though those games are homages to Indiana Jones. You're the originator, so you have to have a strong story, a strong narrative. You have to really add in a lot of those puzzles, like more complex puzzles than what you would get from those games. And you need to have just as much of a narrative that Uncharted has, but it's Indiana Jones, so you really got to like nail that universe and make sure that the context of the previous movies is accurately foretold and things like that. So I think Machine Games is a good developer that has the potential to do that. But this is kind of like, if this is the Coalition and they actually are doing the Star Wars game, it better not be Star Wars with a Gears like skin on it. I don't want to see no stormtroopers sliding, roadie running and sliding at the cover. I don't want to see that. That's not what I want to see.
You don't want to see that.
I want to see third person. Well, it's already they do third person perspective games, but I mean, hey, maybe even first person. Just like something different than what you have done before to prove to me that you're now a one-trick pony. And that would be pretty awesome. I would love to see that.
That would be pretty awesome.
What about you,
man? For me, I think it really just comes down to, I want them to do what they want to do, but I do want them to do something outside of just the Gears of War franchise. I want to see, like you said, I want to see them spread their wings and do a little bit more, because they have a pretty big studio. Even why not split that studio up and start development? You don't really need your whole development team working on Gear 6, because guess what? Newsflash, Gear 6 needs to be on hold for a while. You just gave us a really good, amazing DLC with Hive Busters, which only 2% of the people walk through a door. So I suggest that if inside of Game Pass, if you really want to see games like this continue and stuff, I mean, Gears is going to continue no matter what. But if you want to see a lot of these other games that you like, go out there and support them. You know, there's no reason that you should be popping legendary achievements in a game that's inside of Game Pass. All it takes is 10% of the people with the service to get to do it.
One of the better games that, like,
right.
Hive Busters is amazing.
Right.
Amazing. If you have not played Hive Busters yet, shame on, and you have Game Pass, shame on you. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Why are you not playing an amazing experience? Hive Busters itself, like, I'm not going to compare it to the actual Gears 5 campaign, because Gears 5 campaign is what, 4 or 5 acts? It's 4 or 5 acts. The last act is a little polarizing for some people, but there's a lot there. But right. Hive Busters is well paced. I know it's only like 2 or 3 hours or so, but it's good. It's really, really good. You can play through it all in one session.
Right.
And so, like, why wouldn't you? It's already in Game Pass, and it was one of the best things in Game Pass. Like, I don't understand how someone could not have already played it. It's crazy.
No, I'm with you on that. So I think overall, I think that's the direction I think would be the good thing. If it's an Indiana Jones game, great. If it's something like a Star Wars game,
I don't
great.
think it's a.
I mean, not Indiana. No, not the Indiana Jones. I was thinking 2 different studios. If it's a Star Wars game, great. I think certain types of Star Wars games would lend itself better to the type of game that they might make, unless they completely redo themselves and go somewhere in the first person department, which I don't know if that's something they would do. But you know, I hear the Mandalorian being kicked around out there. And the thing that I know we talked about this on Brap the other day, you know, a lot of these TV shows and movies and stuff, they're pretty much video games in the way that they're presented to people. And why don't we just get people to come up here and just actually make these things into video games instead of the media that we get them when it comes to movies and stuff. So I think there's a lot of different ways that this can pan itself out. It could be true. I hope it's true, because I don't want to just have, you know, one studio just focusing on one thing, where a lot of people keep saying, well, that's their bread and butter. You know, 343 is going to always make a Halo game, and that's all they're going to make. And even in their regard, you know, even Bungie didn't only make Halo. They made a bunch of other games that you probably didn't even know about. And, you know, that's kind of the situation I feel that Coalition, 343, pretty much all of Microsoft Studios, you know, when it comes to Bethesda and their games and stuff. I mean, they already do a pretty good job of diversifying the games that they release, and they publish and put out on on the Xbox platform now. But it just really comes down to what Xbox is going to do with their initial 15 studios that they had before they acquired Bethesda. What is Coalition going to do? What is Compulsion going to do? You know, I think.
Well, Compulsion's working on a third.
They're working a third person. Yeah, it's shooter.
Narrative game.
Yeah, action game. And there's a lot of studios out there that we already know that they already have a pedigree to make different things. Like, I think Ninja Theory is one of the top, because they have made a multitude of different types of games. Hell, they might be known for games like Hellblade now, but if you go look at their history, they got games like Odyssey, Enslaved Odyssey, which was actually really, really good game. And they have other games that fell inside of their banner and stuff. So they have the studios to do it, and they have the ecosystem that they can actually promote that into. It just really comes down to them actually saying, yo, we're just gonna make this happen with these studios and maximize their potential to their best ability, and have them making more than just one type of game throughout it. It's a long generation. And the one thing I will say about one of the studios you give a lot of praise to, which is Insomniac, they are the creme de la creme of PlayStation, because some people will tell you that Naughty Dog is their best developer. I think maybe in name they are their best developer in name, but I think that's gonna change throughout this generation, because Insomniac didn't put out They done remastered the original Spider-Man game. They gave you Miles Morales. They gave you a 60 FPS boost on that. They gave you Sunset Overdrive last generation. They gave you Ratchet and Clank. They gave you a remaster of Ratchet and Clank on the PS4. Like, the amount of games that developer has published and released in the last 10 years is staggering. And we're talking about developers like 343 and Coalition that literally put out 2 or 3 games, and Naughty Dog that put out 2 games, and if you want to count the remaster as a third one, you can. So I think it's all about the diversity and what you can do with your team to make them stand out even more above everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for a while. I mean, I think I made a video last year, sometime in August, about how Insomniac was PlayStation's best studio, and some people thought about it, saw the concept and was like, yeah, I think I agree with you. But I think a large number of people was like, you tripping. I like Insomniac, but you tripping. And I think after seeing how good Miles Morales is and how amazing it looks, and then knowing that they did Spider-Man and that was amazing, and now we see how great looking Ratchet and Clank is, and clearly they got some stuff on the horizon. They're either making there's been some rumors to this effect that they are doing a remaster of Sunset Overdrive on PlayStation, and that they're doing a Sunset equal.
Right.
But then there's also the talk that potentially they would maybe bringing back Resistance, and it's just like, that Ratchet and Clank is going to be out this year. They're probably going to get this Spider-Man 2 out, and whatever this other game that they haven't announced yet will all be out before Naughty Dog drops another game.
Right.
And that level it's not, yes, it's quantity. And people always say, well, I'd rather have quality than quantity. But what if you can have both?
Right.
Because that's what they provide. They provide you both. They provide you the quantity and the quality. And there's literally no other developer that Sony has that drops as many games and drops them where they're good. They're hitting 80, 90 metas. Like, how often do you see that? It's not very often. They're definitely going to be the studio that people look at differently this generation, I think.
No, I agree 100%. Shout out to Erodimus. He said Coalition is the master of the Unreal Engine. Yeah, there is a lot of, you're right. There is a lot of crossover. A lot of those people stayed on with Gears when Xbox did purchase the Gears IP away from Epic. Taz was like, he wants the game to be more like Force Unleashed. And man, if you haven't
that would be cool.
That would be cool. If you haven't played Force Unleashed,
I love Force Unleashed. Matter of fact, it should be in Game Pass because EA Play is in Game Pass, and that's the EA.
It's the EA.
That's the EA game.
It's a game in the mode.
Yeah. Yo, play Force Unleashed. That game's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how it aged though.
I mean, give it FPS boost and it'll be just fine.
Right.
We also had slow. Sir Taz also said slow mo run through High Busters with me this weekend. He'll be there with you.
Yeah, I hit him up. I said, yeah, I'm down.
And
just,
then
just let me know when.
Shout out to Gregor with the slander. Said, who the hell plays Gambit? Listen, man. When you're trying to finish out a quest before the season ends, you do what you got to do. And I suggested myself to Gambit for a second, but moving on to the next thing. But you know what? Honestly, let's continue this side topic thing. You sent me a nice little thing in the DM. We were talking about Jason Schreier put out a article, and we might as well keep it around Xbox Studios and what's going on with them. What's going on with Halo, and what is Jason Schreier talking about now, sir?
Well, Jason is talking about, looks like another Glassdoor review, where essentially this is another ex-developer who is giving his opinion on where Halo Infinite is and what is going on with 343. And so to kind of get into what this says, it says a former 343 employee shared some insight on Halo Infinite. His overall feeling on Halo Infinite, quote, "In fact, I think the finished product will still be great. The story is a big improvement, probably," and this is me speaking, that's probably due to Joseph Staten. He said, "And the game development cycle is too long. Don't expect it to be in epoch whatever. I just butchered that word. So sue me. Epoch making masterpiece." So I said like he's trying to temper expectations there.
Right.
The company executives were overly ambitious. This is stuff that we've heard before from Jason Schreier's reporting. They wanted to make Halo Infinite a semi-open world game, so the engine needed to be changed significantly. They had to make the game and develop the engine at the same time. This is something that we've talked about before, about how that can slow down development, where developers are trying to make the game, but they don't have the tools available yet in the engine because they haven't been made yet. You can't make a game without the tools. You got to make those tools to make it happen. And when you're completely building a whole new engine, you know what? I'll finish this up and I'll get into, my thoughts on this. But he says, due to engine defects, many workflows were not ideal, though they are now much more improved than before. Clearly, because your engine's complete now, so yeah, it makes sense. Last year's disastrous demo was because many engine features were not fully implemented at that time. For a variety of reasons, the game content compared to the original idea has been cut. In parenthesis, same for multiplayer. I'll get into that later. This has led to some things I've made over the years that no one will probably ever see. The team at 343, especially the low-level employees, works very hard, and many of them have experienced working overtime until the early hours of the morning in the past few years. Good grief. Crunch confirmed.
Yep, crunch confirmed.
And now he works at Certain Affinity, still doing some HI outsourcing work, and he feels good to be out of 343's baggage. So, my thoughts on this? And real quick, shout out to Eric in the chat. How's it going, man? K Asante, what's up? Deck, what's going on? What's going on? My thoughts on this. This is exactly just more confirmation of the things that we've seen before from former developers and all these people who were trying to say or Glassdoor reviews aren't legit and yada, and all this other stuff that doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Like this, the Glassdoor reviews that people were trying to say were basically try to cast doubt on them because they claim someone can just come in and make up a Glassdoor review. Why would someone make up a Glassdoor review 8 months before we knew any information about what was going on at 343? Those Glassdoor reviews, the bulk of them about 343 and about Halo Infinite, were made nearly a year before Chris Lee was demoted and eventually quit. So how does that make sense? Right. How does someone make fake Glassdoor reviews that just so happen to accurately foretell everything that's going on with a studio that shows up in articles from those who have been speaking with investigative reporters? That doesn't make sense. So it sucks that this person create content that no one would probably ever see because it got cut. I'll say this again. I think where they made mistakes is their leadership, and their leadership making decisions that didn't make sense for the game. And I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but from what I remember people saying is that they were originally going to have the next Halo game to complete the trilogy after Halo Guardians be on Unreal Engine 4. And they were working on Slipspace Engine, but it wasn't ready. And so I think they should have went back to just doing that. They should have never came off of that. They should have just did this Halo game and then worked on Halo Infinite. which is going to be an ongoing kind of game. Not necessarily Destiny, but definitely something where they're going to be dropping like Sea of Thieves, where they continue to expand upon the experience to keep dropping more expansions, more content as the years go on.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take into account that you can't build an engine that fast and you're already making a game in a completely different engine. That's the other big issue, is that you decide to go semi-open world. Now,
I think that's the biggest problem.
right. So for those who aren't familiar with this kind of stuff, all game engines, all games, they work with not as much memory as you would love. If a game had infinite memory, then you could make any game engine can make a game look like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
Right.
But that's just not reality. You have limited memory based upon the hardware that you're working on, based upon the specifications of of like say different PCs, your minimum spec, your different closed network, closed hardware like an Xbox. So you have limited resources in the sense that you need to make sure that you can render everything in the world that is possible. And then your engine and how your engine works can also determine how much memory you have available for stuff like that. So if you've got a game engine like Unreal, which I mean Unreal is powering Fortnite. So you already know it can do open world stuff.
Right.
To switch off of that and create Slipspace engine, and then change the focus of what kind of game it's going to be. Now with semi-open world, you now need to render way more assets on screen than you did before. It's wide open spaces now. Now you gotta start thinking about draw distance and all these other things and having as much detail out there as possible. And it's like all this stuff that you didn't have to take into account before, you now have to take into account. It changes the way the engine works. And it just seems some acts to me of people in higher position not necessarily understanding how much time something would take when they make the decision to change these things. And like we get what he said, where he said that demo they showed, wasn't ready. And there were parts of the engine that were not complete. Like, why would you show that then? You know, like and they're coming out with blog posts now, like a few months ago, coming out with blog posts talking about how they're just getting certain things complete in engine. This is well after the game was supposed to be out last year.
Right.
So it's just like, then why was your release date for the launch of the console and your engine isn't even ready yet? That's just, that's bad management, man.
Man, I don't know where. All right, so I know I do know where to start on this. The biggest thing is, until this game comes out, it is going to continue to be the brunt of everything that's going on with the development. Until people get a chance to actually see the final product, there will always be moans and sighs about where the game is and all of the different directions and the management or the mismanagement or the people that came and gone and the Glassdoor reviews. And that was the one thing I was super worried about with with Halo in general, with it being a game that was being delayed, especially when they announced that it was still coming in 2021. I felt like, and this is what I kept talking about like last year, I was like, this game needs to disappear, like be gone for a while, because all of the things, like looking at this this Reddit thread, talk about the engine not being, like parts of the engine not being ready. The first thing I said during that live stream was, where's the lighting? Like people, like don't
Where
get
the
it.
textures,
Yeah,
not just on Craig's face, but the villain.
yeah,
I mean, like that dude looked like something out of Brute Force, and I'm like, yo, I'm just like, what's happening here? Like, what is that? That's not how his face should look.
yeah. And that's the thing though. We were super happy with the gameplay element. Like, I loved the gameplay itself.
It looked like the best Halo gameplay that 343's ever done.
Ever made. And I was happy with that. But excuse me. But just looking at, like how everything just looked flat and bland and dull, it was like
the draw distance from, like, it was so noticeable when Chief gets into the Warhog and he starts driving towards the fight, and you can see, like, it's just like the detail in the grass doesn't show up until the Warhog tires are like almost on top of it.
Right.
And it's just like there's no draw distance here whatsoever. It was crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good. And before I lose, I don't want to lose these. So did you already do Everborn Super Chat?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Okay,
Let me do that. Everborn Saga Super Chat. Thanks, Everborn. $2 Super Chat. He says, "What's up? I want Insomniac to make a Sonic game." Ooh.
Listen.
With the way Ratchet and Clank look, I would like to see that too.
It might look like the movie Ratchet and Clank. It might look like Sonic the movie.
They could definitely nail the art direction. I would like to see them do something with that level of speed.
Ooh, yeah.
And
they can put that SSD to work.
Right. And if you've played Miles Morales, and with the web swinging and once you really know how to do the web swinging and the movement, you could really see, I could see some potential with that, because they have a vertical element to their games that no one else really can do, and these are elements that tools that they created for Sunset Overdrive that you see in use in Spider-Man, and then it's just been improving from there. I could really see them really nailing a Sonic game. That'd be pretty cool. What do you think, man?
No, I as soon as when I saw it like 10 minutes ago, I was like, man, a Sonic game. Now, like, I'm just thinking of the movie, then I'm thinking of just the perception of speed, like how you can, we saw like a really good presentation of that during the Unreal demo that they did, where she was flying through the structures and stuff. Mm-hmm. I could just see something like that really, really working for Sonic. And who knows, man? I mean, that could be a partnership. Sega, you really isn't into making the games. I know they still make the Sonic games and stuff like that, but they can kind of outsource that to somebody like Insomniac and see what they can do with it. I would be 100. That would be a Sonic game that I would truly be looking forward to if they actually did.
Unfortunately, it'd be a little weird because they're Sega.
It would be because they're Sega.
And right. So Sega owns Sonic, and that's never going to change. And
they're never going to get rid of that.
Yeah. And now they could license it out to Sony to have Insomniac do it, but then it's just like,
well, how much of the losses Sega gonna take?
Right, like that Sony gonna be like,
Sony gonna be like, we want majority of this, because not only are we making the game, we have our studio making the game too.
Right.
So they're gonna want the majority shares on it. So.
Yeah, it would just be there'll be no chance of that. But I think they'd be a good fit for making that.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing. I do. Let's see, because Eric Jackson just shout out to E-Jack with the super chat. I definitely want to transition, because what he just brought up here is something that can like really take us into the next topic, which is going to be Returnal. He says, this is why people need to stop buying into the idea that one company or dev is better than another. None are infallible from the dark side of gaming. Bro, you speak in my language. You listen, but you're E-Jack. You're the best free agent out there in the world right now, man. And you making a lot of sense with that message right there. And we're gonna transition to Returnal and talk about why I had the stance that I had for a couple weeks ago, and now I'm seeing people on timeline saying things like,
You want to finish up the
No, we're gonna do that.
chats?
We're gonna do that. No, yeah, we're gonna do that. But then we also got 108 Dragon TV with the $2 holler. What's good, family? Great show. Always supporting y'all. We truly appreciate you, bro. As always. And then once again, Everborn Saga with the $5 holler. That's the thing. I don't think modern Sonic necessarily needs to be about speed. It should be about the transversal. Listen, man.
Traversal.
What I say, transverse? Oh yeah, transversal.
I
said trans. I did say transversal. Yeah, transversal.
I don't know what that word means, but okay.
Whoa, hold up. You don't act like you ain't never misspoke, sir.
Oh, okay. I just don't do it at the number of times
you do it. You do it just as much, sir.
I don't.
Do we have to call your mother and let her tell you how often much you do it?
You don't know my mother. You can't call her. Chat. How often does Forte mess words up? Is it every time he speaks, or is it every time he speaks?
Oh Lord, here we go.
Okay, all right, my bad.
No, okay, so let's talk about that
traversal.
Yeah, talk about that real quick.
Now that's where I said their verticality in their games could really be good. Now, of course, you don't want to go have too much speed where you can't even keep up with Sonic, right? So it has to be like the perception of speed, kind of like the Flash on the CW, where we're just supposed to like pretend like this guy's really moving as fast as the Flash is supposed to move, but he's not. He's not moving that fast at all. But
I'm giving you your $2 back. I'm giving Enrique his $2 back. Enrique.
No, he's telling the truth.
Enrique with the $2
super chat.
Go ahead.
Slow-mo doesn't mess words up like Forte. Thank you, Enrique.
That's because Slow-mo don't talk as much as Forte.
You messed up a word just then.
Yeah, I almost called you Forte.
How did you almost call me yourself? You need a nap. You need a nap, sir.
I probably do need a nap, man. I've been going pretty strong this week, man.
You need some milk. What is happening right now?
Get milk? Got milk? Okay, I see where we going.
Man, hey, Artemis, stop it before we start calling you Artemis again. So I don't know. You both can't pronounce words. Whatever. Anyway,
look, I like that. I like his opinion and take a little bit more. Because he's right. We both
said Forza. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can't say Forza either, man.
Oh, there it is. Hey, listen. I was gonna let this die, but then our boy E-Jack says Forte doesn't forget outros though.
Shout out to another $2 super chat from Artemis. He says, Slow-mo, say my name again. Oh, okay. Artemis. There you go.
You just called him Artemis, right?
I did it on purpose. You didn't see the emphasis. You didn't see
I'm just making sure. Sometimes
I'm just trying to tweak him up. That's all.
So go ahead, bro. Tweak up the chat.
All right.
Let's transition over to what
we got to talk about Returnal.
That's what we're saying. We're transitioning to the super chat that where he's talking about the darker side of gaming. And I don't know if anybody saw. Did you see my tweet last night that I made at 2:00 in the morning, Slow-mo?
No. Why would I see that?
I don't know, because you probably was up. You probably was playing something. I was not up.
I was actually asleep at 2 a.m.
Okay, so I put up a tweet and I might as well just put it up on the screen, man. It was I was feeling myself last night when I was watching a couple of people's live streams and I was watching people struggle at the game, and I was like, man, this is terrible. I think I was telling people about this a week ago, and people made it seem like your boy was crazy, and I was sitting there like, I'm just being me, and overall, where's the tweet? There's the tweet. Tweet's right here. So I said in this tweet, where is it? Slow-mo. First of all, oh, here it is. So I said, I told people I wanted to take a wait and see approach before spending $70 on Returnal. Everyone said you're a fan of the game. You didn't. Everyone, listen.
No, you were not.
Yep. Listen.
Backtracking.
No.
Lord flip-flop.
No. Listen. Shut up, Somo. I am.
Don't tell me to shut up.
No. Listen.
You were all like, I was wrong. I was wrong.
No.
I'm gonna get this game at $70. Now you all like,
why did I get the Why did I get the game at? Why did I get the game at? No, Slow-mo. Why did we get the Slow-mo?
Like that, man.
Why did I get the game, Slow-mo? Slow-mo, I told you why did I get the game. I even said it in that live stream. I said I changed my mind after seeing the 17-minute gameplay. I'm sold on it, but I said I'm even more sold on it because I got a $25 gift card and this game is only going to cost me $45.
Where are my flip-flops? I need to find my flip-flops.
So, like I said, it still stands.
Flip-flopping around here.
If I had to spend, once again, I still stand by the fact that I wasn't spending $70 for this game. I didn't spend.
You didn't.
I spent $45.
I didn't spend $70 on it either.
I'm not talking about you, Summer, but we're talking about we're talking about this message right here that I am about to have on. Matter of fact, let me just transition this on over to the other one. You can see this beautiful tweet. I'm just gonna blow it up in the screen, let everybody see that your boy, it's
flip-flopping.
No, he wasn't flip-flopping. It's right here. It's right here for everybody to see. I told people I wanted to take a wait and see approach before spending $70 on Returnal, which I didn't spend $70 on.
Can't nobody see that?
Yes, they can. It's right here on the screen.
Okay.
Everyone said you're a fan of their game, but you won't support them at $70. Oh, shout out to Jay Barry. I think that was Jay Barry.
110 people like this tweet.
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on. Shout out to Jay Barry for saying, that second line right there, but you won't support.
Want to minimize your messages.
No. I do want to minimize those.
Good grief. I'm trying to help you out. Bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. But but like I said, shout out to Jay Barry for that second line. Everyone said that you're a fan of the game, but you won't support them at $70. Now, all I see on my timeline is fix your game. This game is $70. Unfortunately, this game isn't different. # not again.
Yo, are you speaking? Because I can't hear you. Oh, no, we don't want dead air.
Here we are. I don't know what happened.
You were probably flailing your arms.
No, Discord decided to do
Discord
decided to do some stuff. But like I said, after the whole Jay Barry thing with the $70 and saying blah blah blah, you need to support them. They're the developer. And then I was like, all I saw on my timeline was people saying fix your game. It's $70, and unfortunately, this game isn't any different. # not again. But the main thing about this is, what did I say, Slow-mo? At the very end of that thing, I said, everybody kept saying, why don't you want us to buy, like you say you love the game. You love house marking the games they make. I said, but this is something different. This is a game that literally, and the fact that people are surprised and shocked about the save mechanic in the game baffles me. Because if you did any research on Returnal, you knew that this game was a game
I don't think people was mad about that. People are mad that it's not the same. It's the fact that the game isn't stable.
No, but that's the part that I'm talking. That's the part I'm talking about. But that's the part that I'm talking. No, listen.
No.
You're not letting me finish my thing. You're not letting me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead and finish.
Like what I said. I'm just bringing that as the point that the game it doesn't have save features. So in my mind, I'm looking at this like all these games have a problem. I'm not about to spend $70 on another game that might have another problem. That's why I said I'm going to take a wait and see approach to see what happens. I'm not spending $70 to have an issue with a game because this game has save features that it doesn't have in the game. And if something happens to your game is going to disappear. Now, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it actually turned out, but it's just the simple fact of the matter that a lot of people. Go ahead.
It's not a bad game.
No.
Yeah, he didn't. this man's mic, I don't know what's going on. This man, he started yelling, and then his mic just turned him off or something. I
What?
don't
My
know.
mic ain't turning me off, man. What are you talking about?
I couldn't hear nothing you were saying, and I don't think anyone in the chat can hear you either on the show. So like,
They can't hear me at all.
Oh no, we can hear you now, but you started
Oh.
with the no, and then it
Okay.
just like
Listen, I just think overall that, first of all, this game is amazing. The little bit of time I did play in it, it's freaking addictive. But the moment I got my first crash the dashboard, after I got all the way to the end of Biome 1, and I was kitted up, I took the Randall Thor approach, got my health bar as long as it could be, and had my proficiency on my weapons maxed up as far as I think I could get them. I went to go fight that boss, and literally in the middle of the boss fight, crashed the dashboard. Oh, there goes an hour and a half of my gameplay. And like I said, in my mind, I'm just thinking like, this is why I wanted to wait. It wasn't that like I said, it wasn't the fact that the game was $70 or anything like that. It was just the fact that the game is 70, and then it's a game that's unproven in the ecosystem of what it's trying to be. It's trying to be something that hasn't never been.
$70 price. The game could be $20, and if this was happening to you, you'd be like, I spent $20 on a game, and I'm wasting my time on it because I just spent.
I don't know about that.
No, what?
Because people, because Outriders, because Outriders was the same.
The game, or you can't, if you're losing progress, not due to your own, like on your own volition. Let's say if you died, that's on you. People can respect that. I died in the game. It was my mistake. I didn't play well at that time, whatever. I know what the game is like. I lost my progress. I'll keep going. People aren't mad about that. Mm-hmm. They're mad about the crashes and the game.
The crashes are terrible.
And the game being buggy. All that said, the price of the game does not matter in that regard, because whether the game was $60 like Cyberpunk, or whether the game is $40, or the game is $20, if you spent your hard-earned money on a game and you can't enjoy it, because not only is it crashing, but they put out a patch they gotta take back because it's destroying your progress. That's just not acceptable. Period. The price tag does not matter. What matters is that the game is not acceptable in its state, regardless of price. It could be a last-gen game. It could be a mobile game. I don't care. Those are the issues. You're taking this issue and making it about the $70 thing, which has nothing to do with it, because if it was a $60, $50, $40 game, people would be just as mad.
But it's just a simple fact, Slow-Mo, that was the main reason of the argument in the first place. Well, why do you not want to spend? Because of something like this. Something like this was.
Gregor just had a great point in the chat. People were upset losing saves in Ori, and that wasn't a full price game.
Yeah, but you just didn't hear about it as much. Maybe because a lot of people didn't play Ori. That might be part of the reason.
I mean, that is part of the reason, but that is exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I agree.
Price doesn't mean anything.
No, I don't disagree.
Losing progress.
No, I don't disagree with you, Slow-Mo, but the biggest thing for me is, yes, you're absolutely right. You're not wrong about what you're saying. I'm just going off, if you go scour Twitter and just look at and look at the timeline, how many people did you see out there say, this game is broken, fix your game, this game is $70? How many people did you see that? I seen a lot of people.
I saw that multiple times.
That's all I'm saying. It's because
that's just people just piling on.
Oh,
I
know.
Mad
I know
that the game was $70 because a lot.
No, they're mad because
the game sucked. If it wasn't fun and it got crashes and it's $70, then you could say this game ain't worth $70.
Well, I don't think people are saying it's not. That's the thing. People aren't saying it's not worth $70 because they're basically just using it in conjunction with, for some strange reason, people thought $70 really meant like, people thought that when they saw this game was $70, that meant that it was a value of $70. Like, I never looked at this game as a value proposition for $70. I looked at it as a game like, Sony just want to charge you $70 for this game. And now if you want to play a brand new IP from a developer that you respect or you love their games in the past, then yeah, you're going to go out and spend that $70. Or you're going to be like, yo, this is something that they have never done before. And half of these games that came out throughout the last generation have not worked to their fullest. you know, when they first launched. And I think that is another part of the scenario too. So I think it's operating on both ends right now. Ultimately, I think that this is a question I really want to ask you, because I think Housemarque is catching a raw deal on this. Because as much as a lot of people are slandering the game because their saves are being lost, and I think that has a lot to do with the patch that they put out, which they did revert, and they did put out a new patch. I haven't heard anything about how the new patches operate. It must be doing pretty well because people aren't complaining, but the crashes is the big thing. Now, is this a Housemarque problem, or is this a Sony PlayStation 5 problem? Because we already know PlayStation 5 is not the most stable platform out there.
Is anyone else having these? Any of the developers having these kind of issues?
Well, you got to remember, no, other developers are having issues with the game going crashing to dashboard. It's not like that's not a thing. The only difference is this game lends itself to not wanting to have that problem. It's the type of game that if you crash to the dashboard, it's over.
The only game on PlayStation 5 that I've had an issue with crashes was Miles Morales.
Okay.
And I knew when they would happen. It was Miles Morales and their Spider-Man remaster. It was something to do with the cutscenes. Like specific cutscenes at certain points it would crash, and I think they fixed it. But I mean, out of all the games that are out on PlayStation 5 right now, how many of them are having this issue?
No, you're right about that, and that's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you that.
It comes down to it. Not used to, because this is what I do for a living. But when I'm troubleshooting something IT related, when we go through the process of trying to narrow down what the issue is, we have to look at what's the most common denominator here. You start to narrow it down to what causes it. And I used to work with a guy who when I was a network administrator, and this guy used to always be he wouldn't call me slow mo, but he'd be like, hey, I'm gonna tell you, man, I got
hey, John Doe.
I got an MCSE, okay. He's got all these certificates. I used to be an IT director, you know. Why are you doing what you're doing now? You used to be an IT director. Interesting, right? So whenever we would have a issue, he will always go to the most obscure reasoning of why something was broken, instead of going through the process of going through some of the most simplest reasons all the way up to then the most complex. And half the time he would be trying to do, we gotta run a new line through the walls from the server room to this office. And yeah, that's the problem. That's not the problem. The problem was the USB cable and I mean, sorry, the Ethernet cable that was connected this one office's port to its cradle was bad. It's sometimes the simple stuff. To be going to, it's Sony, it's PlayStation, it's the system that's the issue. When you're the only one that we know of that's having this level of difficulty in game crashes, that's not.
Well, I don't think it's just the game crashes. I think it's also sound being lost in the game. I had that happen in a couple of games. I had it happen in Days Gone, where the sound disappeared in the game and you didn't even have access to the dashboard because that sound was gone. I don't think it's just the crashing in per se itself. I think that was just also part of my thought process on a game that literally punishes you for dying or being kicked the dashboard or anything like that. I just kind of looked at that. I was like, I don't know if I want to put myself through that, especially at this price. Like, I mean, like you said, at any price point, it's a terrible thing. I just think at a certain point, it's like, how much are you willing to spend to, or, you know, deal with that, I guess, you know, and go through the motions of having your progress basically swiped away from you for stuff that you had no control over. I think that is a really big thing. And I think it all kind of ties itself together because, even knowing this game is more susceptible to crashes than anything, and I'm with you. I believe it falls on Housemarque more than anything. I was just arguing the other side because I had a couple of people say in my mentions and stuff that PlayStation 5 probably causes a lot of these crashes too, because it's not like it doesn't crash the dashboard. They might be wrong, but it would be fair. It would be fair to just bring up both sides of the thing.
That's fine. We brought up that side, and that side is wrong.
Okay.
A platform is not the issue for one particular piece of software not performing the way it should. And take it outside the video games. If I develop a program on Windows, or I make a program to run on Linux, and it's not performing the way I want it to, I can't say, well, you know what? The issue is that like the CentOS build of Linux is the issue. No, I wrote the program. Right. I can't say, well, Windows 10 is the problem. Really, it's Windows 10. It's not Windows 10.
Right.
It's my software that's the issue that you wrote to run on the platform. That's the problem. It's Housemarque, and I like Housemarque. But this whole thing that it's the PlayStation, no, it's not the PlayStation. It's the game. And they have to get out of whatever excuse cycle they got going and fix the game. Because there are people who spent their money on the game, regardless of how much it costs. They spent their money on the game. They like it, but they want to enjoy the experience. And a lot of them are kind of like me, where they're just like, I'll come back to it.
Right.
And when people do that, there's a large chance, there's a huge chance they don't come back.
Yeah, they don't come
back.
Because
Because there's something else that they want to play that actually works, comes out. And they start playing that. And then there's something else that comes out after that actually works. Meanwhile, you're on the backlog. And maybe they'll get back to it. But it all depends on where they are with the games that they're playing and if they have the time. And they left your game disappointed due to performance issues, and they hear, oh, well, it's all stable now. They fixed everything. It's great.
I do think this game is one of the few games that could actually come back from that, because there's a lot of people that really enjoy the loop of this game, which is very unique in the type of game that it is. It melds two different genres together very, very well. And I just, me personally, I was like, I ran the Queen's Gambit when it came to this game. Like, I hadn't seen anything that I truly was impressed by, because all I saw was chopped and screwed gameplay up until the week before the launch of the game. And then I saw the 17-minute trailer, and I came on BRAP and I came on DPS that week and said, yo, I'm in. I'm buying this game day one. I got, I'm not paying full price for it, but I'm still getting it day one because the game interested me enough in the mechanics that it was having to do it. And I played it. I didn't get a chance to play it on launch day because of, work. Pokemon and this game both released on the same day. And I didn't get a chance to even boot it up to play it until Sunday night. And literally was playing and got 45 minutes to an hour in and crash. And at that point, for me, the game, I was done with the game until they fixed that, because there's one thing that there's one thing in this world that you can't get back. There's a lot of things you can't get back, but the one thing that means the most to you is your time. And this game, based on your skill, I don't have a problem with people wasting time in the game because they're just not skillful enough to make it through the game and satisfy the requirements that the game is asking you to do in order to progress through the game. And that's what this game does. It asks a lot of you to be able to make it through these environments without dying and progress through these semi checkpoints to basically unlock other areas of the game. And that's fine. If you die doing that, that's fine. But the moment you die to something that's out of your control, or something that resets your progress and stuff like that. Or even better yet, you download a patch that supposedly fixed the issue and you think it is, and then all of a sudden you have to literally re-download the entire game again. That's kind of crazy right there. But guess what? I'm still gonna go back in there as soon as this patch goes live, and I'm gonna try it again. Whenever they finally get that that bug fixed or whatever the heck is going on with the crashes in the game, I'm gonna be there playing it again and enjoying it all over again, because I do think the game is quality. I think the simple fact of the matter is it couldn't have happened to a better developer. I mean, granted, it was a lot of their making. I just think right now people just want to play this game and they don't have the ability to do it. And if they do have the ability to do it, they just don't want to risk it. And that's something that shouldn't be understated. You know, people buy games to play them. And right now you got people afraid to literally boot up their game because they may have the patch. And they're waiting for another patch. They don't even know, because most of these people had their game set to auto update. So there's people that literally get the patch. They don't know if their game has it. So they don't even want to boot up the game. So they're waiting for the next patch, which they did release. So, you know, shout out to you if you actually, you know, played Russian roulette with your account. But I think that's the biggest sad part of the situation. It's a good game, amazing. The story, okay, whatever, but the gameplay is amazing, and I think that's what people are really truly upset about the most. And please don't add saves to this game. I mean, as much as I agree with people and they're saying that, it feels bad to lose progress when you die or something like that. I understand that, but that's what this game is. And if you didn't do the research to actually see if this is a game that was for you, then how is that Housemarque's fault? I mean, a lot of people got swept up in the excitement of a new game, and I get that. I said on BRAP that this game's going to get an 86 Metacritic, which it did. And I also said that this game probably was going to sell better than it normally would have sold, because there's a lot of people out there thirsty to play a brand new game. And this is the first party game from PlayStation since the system launched, pretty much, outside of, if you want to count Destruction All-Stars, which I know most people don't. But
no, we're going to count it, because if it was amazing, people would be counting it. So
you absolutely right about that. But some people are going to say that don't count. But yeah, you're right. They didn't release that game.
It sucks, so they don't want to count.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, it counts.
So ultimately, that's what it comes down to me. I'm going to be there day one to play it. Well, not day one, day whatever it is once this patch happens. But this game ain't going to waste my time. It did it once, 45 minutes to an hour gone. I'm not going to be like Jack Move out here. I'm not going to be like Rand. Shout out to Rand. He had one major crash, but he lost a 2-hour run in the middle of that. He's better than me, because I would have put that game down and never went back to it until that patch came out. But that's all I got to say about it. Slomo, you got anything else you want to add to this Returnal conversation?
No, I've said about all I want to say about it. And I see some people in chat saying a platform can have a bug that causes an issue with an application. Yeah, I understand that. What I'm saying is that if you know how a platform works and you are having the kind of multitude of issues that is going on with Housemarque, the issue isn't the platform. The issue is your software. The issue is something that you've done in your game, and that's what you need to fix. Even if say like it is the PlayStation platform, what do you think is going to come out quicker? You doing a workaround to make it work, or PlayStation pushing an update for the entire OS? I mean, like, it's really simple. You need to fix your game, and for the fact that they came out with a patch that they had to take back because it made things worse, there were still people having crashes and they were losing progress, their progress for the game. That's I like Housemarque, but I'm now putting them in the category when it comes to stability for these kind of games, where I put People Can Fly, which is when you say we got it fixed, I don't believe you. I will wait until people say it's not happening anymore before I believe it's actually fixed. And that's why I'm like, I'm not coming back to this game until I will revisit it this summer, where they've had a lot more time to say it's fixed, find out it's not, get it figured out, say it's fixed, turns out it's not. They made some progress, but they still got to get it figured out. I will wait, because otherwise I'm not gonna keep putting my faith in someone that's already shown that they don't quite have a handle on what's going on.
Yeah. Gregor says somehow Forte has this crashing issue with all games that keeps him from beating anything, sadly. Sir, we beat Spider-Man Miles Morales. We did beat that. We actually
you did?
Well, I didn't beat it. My daughter beat it on her account.
What is this Wii stuff?
Okay.
Are you serious?
Not me.
Are you taking credit for your daughter gaming?
Oh, I'm never gonna
Did you just try to take credit for your daughter?
Slow-mo, I have a problem. I always say in this household, it's all about us and we. So I always, when she played, because it wasn't on my account, it's on her account. So I even said she beat it because she has the platinum. So she beat it. Shut up, Slow-mo. It was bad.
Don't tell me
word.
to shut up.
Words.
You're the one out here taking credit for your daughter's gaming.
Oh my god.
Somebody clip this. Somebody clip this. You out here taking credit for your daughter beating games.
I can't take credit because it's not on my account.
You watching her beat games and saying we
beat
this game. Are you
actually no,
I did. Forte being like a
journalist. No, man, I was actually playing Destiny when she was playing it, and she rolled credits behind me on the play. I was basically saying, because he said someone else said something about crashing, and my PlayStation that made it all the way through that, where a lot of people had issues. She literally rolled credits.
I don't care. I don't care. You said we.
I did say we. I did say we.
Beat anything. Have you even played Miles Morales?
Yeah, I started it. I haven't beat it yet. I mean, I didn't even beat the original Spider-Man, so you already know the answer to that.
So sad.
Oh my god!
I don't know this, man. I don't know. And you know what? Maybe your daughter needs to be on the show. She's
god!
She's the gamer. You know, she's the one that beats games. I don't know about you.
She's beat a lot of games, man. She beat Days Gone too. She beat that. I barely started it.
I cannot believe this.
Oh man, this is all right. Here we go. Who's gonna clip it and put it on Twitter later?
So, I mean, can't believe.
Oh shoot. Okay, Ryan Landis says Forte's ready to review the game.
I watched my daughter beat it. I have everything you need to know about this game. So first off, wow.
Dre Watson says Forte says to her, "You my child, so you beat the game. We beat the game." Okay. Oh man, wait, hold on.
What other games are you claiming? What other games are you claiming you beat that really just your daughter beat?
She beat everything on her account, and there's nothing on mine. I mean, you can look at mine. The only last thing I beat was Outriders. I did that.
Yo, Gregor, that's hilarious. Gregor says Forte watches the NFL Combine and tells people he runs a 4.40 because he watched someone do it.
Oh man. Okay, listen. Let me tell y'all something, man. Shout out to hold on. We can't. We gonna definitely get past it because these are people. But 48 people in here watching, man. I appreciate y'all. This is the type of entertainment. Yeah, Forte gonna make a fool of himself every once in a while when he least expects it. So, oh my God, this is funny. George says, Housemark said it was the PS5 causing crashes. They did actually put out a response and saying they're waiting for Sony to confirm on their end when that patch went live on their end, because there was a system update the day after Returnal came out that was supposed to fix stability. Now, I don't think all of it was the PlayStation. I do think a lot has to do with Returnal itself.
So they may have did the update on the previous build of the OS and then like there's a OS update.
Yeah, they did
change something that their current build of the game
Didn't
wasn't
work with, yeah.
didn't work with. I mean, that's a possibility, but that's still something that they have to update on their side
Yeah.
because if Sony pushes a patch to take care of instability issues, they're not going to retract their patch that is going to help other aspects of the entire system for your one game. You need to put out another update that gets your game around whatever that they did. It's just it still comes down to Housemark in their game. Like I don't know why people keep
But
like I don't care what Housemark said. They're wrong. I'm sorry.
uh
It's
Racer says he beat Outriders with all those problems, but not Returnal. So the only reason I didn't have hot problems in Outriders is because I did pretty much all of the game solo. I didn't play with other people in that game. Like until I beat the game. I think when I roll credits, because the game does keep a tally of how much you play with other people. At that point, I only had played 15 minutes with other people in the game because every time I tried to play with other people, I would get kicked out of lobbies and stuff like that. Because I even tried to do it with Luca at the one boss and we got kicked out. So I just played the game by myself. And if you play by yourself, it's a really good chance that it's more than a good chance. You more than likely will make it through the whole game with no issues.
I played it. I played my first playthrough of my first Outrider. I did it primarily by myself, and yeah, I didn't have a lot of issues. The one at times I did have issues is when I tried to do cross play with Laura Cognito, and that didn't work.
Same, I had that same one with you too.
Yeah, with you and with trying to do the exhibitions with you and Taz, like that's where I will always have the problems. And so yeah, they that hybrid peer-to-peer system with Azure, they people can fly really failed on both parts of that. But let's I guess we can
let's
on now.
I
want to talk about this lawsuit.
Oh yeah,
I love this lawsuit.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
So great. It's confirming stuff that we had assumed for so long. For me, it's making me look like slow-mo Stradamus out here with all the stuff I said that was going on that people was like, no, you're wrong. And then turns out I was right. It's like, it's great. It's great.
Slow-mo loves being right.
Yes, I do. It gives me I don't know. It's a feeling, I get when I get confirmed right. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I love it. But this lawsuit, and so if you're not aware, the lawsuit is between Epic Games and Apple. And so to get you all caught up, Epic has an issue with Apple not allowing them to sell items or sell cosmetics, whatever they're selling in Fortnite within the app. That's because Apple wants their cut. And so what this does is that it takes a emote or a skin for your Fortnite character would be like $7. It's taking that from $7 to $10 because Apple wants their cut. And so it's like people are spending more money unnecessarily, where on PlayStation, on Xbox, on PC, on Switch, they're still only spending $7. And so it's not fair. So there's that issue. Epic started lowering the price of it and selling it. I forgot how they were circumventing Apple's system, but Apple took their ball and went home and just pulled the game from the iOS store, which Epic knew they were going to do. And so they've gone into this huge lawsuit. I think if you want to go to really get the rundown on all the ins and outs of this, go check out Hogue Law channel. He's got a series on this whole thing. He's really been breaking it down in the sense from a lawyer's perspective, because that's what he does. And it's a really good job. Shout out to him. Now, all that said, the reason why Microsoft is in this is because Microsoft has got an issue with Apple too. Microsoft is trying to get Game Pass on iOS.
Mm-hmm.
They got it on Android. They got it on. This is their plan of because Game Pass is their platform. For those of you who don't realize it, is Game Pass is the platform, not the console. And the Xbox division is trying to get into every device they can. And so iOS is one of those devices. And somewhere when their xCloud Game Pass app was in beta, Apple tried to hit an okie doke on them and say, "Oh well, we need you to change your app so that when someone wants to play a game, they have to download it separately through the iOS store in order to do so." And that's now how subscription services work. If you have Netflix, you don't go out of Netflix into the iTunes store to download a movie or a TV show you're watching on Netflix. You don't that doesn't make any sense. And then how come the Amazon app can make purchases and stuff like that through the Amazon app that Apple doesn't have any say so or any cut in? Clearly they're treating Microsoft differently, and therefore Microsoft has an issue with it. Now they didn't sue like Epic did. What they did was that we're gonna find our way in here anyway. So they've got what we would call side loading. Essentially, if you go into the Safari browser, you can access a URL that will allow you to do everything that the app would do, except it's not an app. It's a little inefficient, but this is their way of doing it for now until this lawsuit may actually force Apple to not just do things differently for Epic and Fortnite, but as Microsoft as well. But since Microsoft is involved in this, they have been subpoenaed. And so all this data and information is coming out between Apple, emails, correspondence, all this information from Epic to Microsoft, from Microsoft to Apple, and vice versa. And we're seeing these emails from Phil Spencer, from it's the CEO of Epic Games, Tim Sweeney. Yeah, you're seeing all these other people, executives for all these companies, and even correspondence to Sony, which is great, because as you're seeing how Sony really feels about crossplay, and we're finding out that there is this secret tax that Sony is charging.
The secret tax.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a secret tax.
The crossplay tax.
The crossplay tax.
Yeah, I know.
Anytime someone acquires a some kind of microtransaction or something off platform, Sony looks at it as that should have been our sale. So you gotta pay us what was paid to you from on a different platform. It's crazy. But this is what a industry leader who is the biggest revenue share on a particular industry platform can do. This is what they can do when you're running it. You can do stuff like this. But of course, they had to do the crossplay because they were losing a lot of public for not doing it. So this was their way of getting around it. We're gonna get our money anyway,
right?
And so it's just great stuff. Like we're seeing that Microsoft had planned to drop the free to play paywall as far back as 2019. And we're seeing a lot of information from like Phil Spencer, who surprisingly writes his emails the way he speaks in public. It's kind of funny, but
yeah, that was pretty interesting reading those.
Yeah, I found the whole thing fascinating, but it seems like the biggest things that people have pulled from this is that Game Pass is not yet profitable, that Microsoft actually does make a profit though. So like there's a lot of people out here that have been saying all the Microsoft is doing is taking losses. All they're doing is taking losses. Now we find out from it was her name Lori Wright. Was that her name?
Yeah, that was her name.
Lori Wright.
Good memory, Slomo.
Yeah, hey, look, I try. She's on the stand, and she's asked if Microsoft. I don't know why these questions are somehow relevant to this case, but I'm not gonna complain because they're giving us good tea. But she was asked of whether my Xbox has ever like been profitable off the sales of just the console, and she said no. Those consoles have always sold at a loss. Now we knew that the original Xbox was sold at a loss for the entirety of its duration.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was thinking that the 360 at some point sold at a profit or break even,
Right.
but apparently not. And the Xbox One hasn't. So even though, like, look, I mean, the Xbox One S was selling last year at $300. You telling me it cost you $300 to make that old outdated system? Like, I don't know. I don't know if Lori didn't know some information or some minute information, but she was absolutely telling, exactly how it is. But that's what we know so far, is that the Xbox console itself has always sold at a loss. And the reason why this is a big deal is because Nintendo, for example, never sells a console at a loss.
Nope.
This is partially why their consoles are always outdated, far outdated compared to what current hardware and whatever year it comes out is actually doing. And that's because they're not going to be taking a loss up front. Right now, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X are both being sold at a loss. And it's because they want you to buy games. This is why they don't like scalpers scalping their consoles, because no one is buying PS Plus, PS Now, buying games to give them their 30% cut, or getting Game Pass or doing any of that stuff when a scalper is sitting on the console and is collecting dust. This is why they hate that. Just you buying the console is not enough. They make their money off of the software sales. That's where that is the reason why, as far back as like 2018, 2019, I think it was 2019, we saw actual profit numbers from all these companies. And we see now Tencent is the biggest moneymaker in this industry, mostly mobile, which makes sense, because if anyone has seen some of the data that I've shown before about where the revenue goes and who's making the most revenue, it's the mobile market, and Tencent, it runs the mobile market. So it makes sense that they got the most profit. Microsoft is profitable. They're like averaging like back in 2019, they were averaging like 2 billion in profit, which is, I mean, it's not great, but it's not what people were assuming, that they weren't making any money. And why are you even involved in this if you're not making any money? Well, it's making money, it's just not making enough money. So all that said, Game Pass is not turning a profit yet. They are relying on their software sales to really make sure that they're making money. And the main reason why they dropped their revenue share from 30% to 12% on the PC side of things, in my opinion, something that I said before, the reason why that we were seeing games going into Xbox Game Pass but not PC Game Pass is that there has to be a way for the actual developer to potentially get a sale on the game and having someone purchase the game on discount and not just play it in Game Pass and not ever buy it. And developers weren't willing to do that on PC Game Pass because they had no intentions of putting their game in the PC Microsoft store because it's trash. Sorry, it is. It needs to get better. So and I think that they're trying to improve that. And that's why the incentive to get people to put games into their store so that they can fully utilize Game Pass on PC is to make it worth their while. Do what Epic Game Store is doing by actually making the game more profitable for the developers who are putting their games on their store, because each sale they're getting a little bit more of the cut than they would have otherwise. And so, all right, long-winded as I was here,
No, you did good, man.
Forte, what do you think about all this?
Man, so in general, it just really comes down to there's a lot of stuff that happens in these deals that a lot of people you're just never going to be a preview to unless you get a Apple versus Epic going at it, where all the books are on the table. And I just found it really interesting that Sony. I mean, it makes sense that I think about it, especially when it comes to the crossplay tax, because you're the market leader and you kind of write a check that most other people can't write. You know, you want to be able to, you know, have, you know, hold your player base as value for all these other people that want to get a hold of it. That's why when Nintendo systems sell, that's when third party gains interest. Like, they don't gain interest in Nintendo platforms until they see that they can sell it on their own with their own games and stuff. That's why the Wii is taking off like it has, not because of third party, it's because of the first party. Third party just goes along for the ride at this point. And then, you know, PlayStation, it's not out of the realm of possibility when it comes to this type of deal being struck where, you know, where Epic is literally paying them technically pennies on a dollar. I mean, but those pennies add up. I mean, if you saw the illustration they gave where if, you know, they hit that 90% threshold, then it's like $52,000 for that quarter. Was it for the month or was it for a quarter, Slow-Mo?
Say that last word again.
I said that illustration they gave where they showed the payout, was that for a month or was that for a quarter?
I think that was for a quarter.
For a quarter, yeah. It was like $52,000, like which is nothing in the grand scheme of it. But to PlayStation, they're like, well, that's $52,000 that, you know, we're getting just because we're PlayStation.
Yeah, that's a lot for any developer. Remember how we were talking about Zombie Army 4? We was like, why would y'all not do crossplay?
That's why they're not.
This is why they're not, because they're going to have to pay everything that you do. And if you play Zombie Army 4, you get these characters. You get 4 characters, but if you want additional characters, you got to spend money on DLC. That game being on PlayStation 4, I don't know if they're doing this for PlayStation 5 or not, considering it's a new generation and they can't really be bullying developers when they don't have that, you know, PlayStation. There's 100 million PlayStation 5s out there.
Technically they can, though.
I don't think they can. But when you got over 100 million PlayStation 4s, you can tell people how it is. And they're gonna do what you want, but then they don't want to have to say Zombie Army 4 blows up. Now, you could have been keeping all of those games that were going to a large number of players on PlayStation 4, but instead, every time somebody buys a microtransaction on Xbox or PC, you got to give Sony that same money.
Right.
Yeah. I understand why they didn't want to take that risk. But that sucks for us as the consumer, because I would love to play Zombie Army 4 with Sir Taz.
Yeah.
But I don't have an Xbox to play that with him. And I tried it on xCloud, never again. At least until xCloud gets better with the latency. Excuse me, because the latency was so bad, it felt like I was playing old school Resident Evil with the tank controls.
Oh.
It was that bad. So yeah, that xCloud on PC is still in beta, and so it's not there yet, and it's unfortunate. But like, if you want to play games with other people on different platforms, you're relying on cross-play to do so. And it makes sense now to me why some of these smaller developers weren't doing it. You would see the bigger developers, the bigger publishers do the cross-play because they can eat that cost.
They eat $52,000.
Right. Outriders is published, and People Can Fly is a small AA development studio, but Outriders is published by Square Enix. They can eat that cost. But Warframe, maybe Warframe could do it now that they are technically owned by Tencent. But before,
it's the reason it's still not there, though.
Yeah, and the reason why it's not there is because before, when they were just an independent developer, they couldn't afford that. That gets a free game. It's a free game. You can't afford to be having the microtransactions of your game that are purchased on Xbox and PC, especially PC, considering PC is like
it's the lead platform.
It's the lead platform for that game. to have to give that money to Sony, they can't afford that. So yeah, it makes sense.
Right. And all the microtransactions are happening mostly on the PC platform. It's like, we gonna give you money for something we ain't even using.
Right.
It's crazy. No, I agree. I just think as time goes on, more of this stuff's gonna keep coming to light, and I love Epic for bringing the fight to Apple, because guess what? Gamers win because we get to find out all the underhanded stuff that's been happening, especially with Epic and all these different platforms. And I do agree with you. When I read the thing about Phil Spencer and I read the I was like, yo, that is exactly how he talks. I thought that was really interesting too. So
yeah,
that
really
was
cool.
that was a really good segment right there. But let's transition to this final topic so we can get up out of here. Shouldn't take us that long because it's been talked about to death. But Slow-mo, 74 games were added to the FPS boost list for Xbox, taking advantage of better frame rates, not better resolution, even though they do have a version of boost that works with resolution, but none of these titles take advantage of that right now. But 74 new titles added to, I believe, the 15A, so it takes them up to like 92 or something like that total. So first of all, how do you feel about it, and what stands out to you? And does this feature even do anything for you or anything like that?
It don't do anything for me because I don't own an Xbox right now.
That's true.
So it doesn't really do. And I play all my games on PC, which are the games that I would have been playing on the Xbox, and much higher frame rates. So yeah. Now, so for me personally, doesn't do much for me. But if you are an Xbox gamer and you like to go back and enjoy some of the games that you enjoyed in the past, this is great, because I think sometimes we think about, man, I want to go back and play X game, and then you start to play it and you're like, oh, oh, that's not. Oh man, it plays like this. Well, I feel like I'm moving and I'm running in molasses.
Oh Lord,
because it's 30 frames per second, and and that game had a lock 30 frames. So like last generation, right? Prior to them doing this FPS boost, the backwards compatible team used to say that they could boost the resolutions and they could clean up visuals, but they couldn't touch the frame rate. Because if the game had an unlocked frame rate, they could boost that up. But if it was a locked frame rate, there was nothing they could do, because that game had, the developer would have to actually change the game to unlock the frame rate. But now they seem to have gotten a way around that. Now they can boost these frame rates for these games, but it seems when they do that for the ones that had locked frame rates, if it's one or the other, you can either increase the resolution or you can boost the frame rate, and as we all gamers like to say, we would choose frame rate over resolution. So that's where we are. Some of these games I think are games that definitely, if I was just straight on Xbox and to be able to play these games in 60 frames per second or higher, some of these are 120 frames per second, like Battlefield 4.
Shout out to Battlefield 4.
Yeah, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. I actually like Hardline.
Hardline's fun. The single player is actually pretty fun in that game.
Yeah. Let's see what else is on here. Yeah, Hyperscape. Let me stop.
Did you just throw up in your mouth when you said Hyperscape?
Just a little bit. Metro 2033 Redux is at 120 frames per second. So was the Metro Last Light. By the way, the Metro Exodus Enhanced Edition just came out on PC. I need to check that out. I heard that is amazing looking.
Is that a free update to everybody that already had the PC version?
I don't know. The way it's called Enhanced Edition kind of makes me feel like
you gotta pay for it.
You gotta pay for it. I know, like for example, State of Decay 2 Juggernaut Edition. If you already own State of Decay, you got that for free. You didn't have to spend more money. But that's like an outlier. Usually, the way it works, if they come out with a new edition, that means that whoever, like, you spending the money that you spend on it, it doesn't go towards that at all. So more than likely, you have to spend more on it. But if that was something that, like, you never played Metro Exodus and here's the opportunity to play it with probably way more ray tracing features than the previous version had, and then some, and a better implementation of DLSS and all that good stuff. So whatever. Anyway, Paladins at 120 frames per second.
That's
My friend Pedro.
Pretty fun game too.
Yeah. Yeah, this Smite, Star Wars Battlefront, both of them. Battlefront 1 and 2. Super Hot, Super Lucky's Tale, Titanfall 2 at 100.
Man, it's good. At 120, it's good. It's good. It kills the resolution. It takes it down to like 800p.
Yeah, the Division 1 at 60 frames per second. That's a massive improvement if you played the first Division on the Xbox at 30 frames per second. It doesn't do the game justice. But Wasteland 3 at 60, Watch Dogs 2 at 60. So that's not even the full list, actually. No, it is the full list. That's the full list. Yeah, so
it's the full list.
That's full list. I didn't say all the games. I just kind of went over the most notable.
You want to play those Lego games, man? You know, all 60 frames per second, except for Lego Movie. That's 120.
Weird.
That is weird. That's the only one. Well, maybe because it was.
And Lego Hobbit is 120.
Oh, it is.
Well.
Oh, yeah, it is 120. You're right. But all the other Lego games are 60.
Life is Strange at 60 frames per second. Life is Strange where you're walking around the entire time.
I really want to see what Mirror Edge Catalyst is like at 120. I mean, you're just running through buildings, but it is the Fallout games and Far Cry 60. I would have loved to see them, but then the Far Cry games are semi-open
Some of these
world.
are showing not available, so for the ones that are on Series S that's like showing not available,
that means they don't have a boost at all.
That sucks, man. I've had a Series S. That would really make me up. So all right, let for those who have a Series S and Titanfall 1 does not have a boost. Why does Steep have a boost for Series S but not Series X? That's weird. Battlefront 2 doesn't have a boost for Series S. Shadow Warrior 2 doesn't. Mirror's Edge Catalyst doesn't.
Yeah,
Anthem.
Anthem.
Anthem doesn't. Battlefield 1 doesn't. Battlefield 5. Dead Island. Both the versions of Dead Island, Definitive Edition and Riptide Definitive Edition don't have it for Series S. Dirt 4 doesn't. Dying Light doesn't. Lego Worlds and Life is Strange 2 do not. So I would definitely tell anyone who's on Xbox and is interested in playing the games that are FPS boosted to look at this list before you download the game or buy the game, only to find out that you're not going to get those benefits. That would be pretty terrible. By the way, what is this gameplay we're watching?
Battlefield 4.
All right, all right, Frostbite engine.
Frostbite engine holds up on Battlefield games.
Yeah, it looks good. It's always looked good. It's just doesn't perform great.
I mean, the only reason it don't look terrible is because you're looking at a smaller screen and 720p on a smaller screen looks way better than blowing up on a 4K TV.
So is this is on Xbox and FPS boost? And
this is FPS boost 120.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 120. And 720p. It doesn't drop the resolution because it's already enabled, which would have been terrible if they would have dropped it below 720p. But the thing about Battlefield, man, it's like, Battlefield 4, that game felt so good. I mean, I thought it was good before, but after playing it at 120, I'm like, man, how do we do this?
Well, I'm probably going to try out Battlefield 6 coming out later this year. I mean, why not? I got EA Play Plus, so I can just download it on PC.
You should.
So I'm probably going to, see. I'm hopeful. And Dizzy would be overjoyed to hear me say this, but I actually feel like they may actually have fixed the Frostbite engine based off of some of the things I've seen and some of the technology they got in the play. Some very similar things to like the MetaHuman engine that EA had, that Epic has for Unreal, that does use AI to make realistic facial expressions. the new Frostbite engine has some very realistic hair physics that, that's the one thing that seems to has not aged at all in the past generation is hair. Stop it, like looking realistic. And it's just it's because the cost of it on older hardware was just way too expensive. And now that hardware's better now, CPUs on consoles are better, technology has improved, and now the tools are available to make that stuff look amazing without actually having developers have to put a ton of time into it. Is there too. So I think Frostbite 3.0 might actually be something. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
You should check it out. It's good. Yeah, man, this good show, man. I think all the games that were, you can't get mad at games being able to.
Ooh, we didn't. Hey, shout out to Ryan Landis in the chat. Did you guys talk about the Microsoft internal review of The Last of Us 2? We did not.
No, we
completely
did not.
forgot. That came out in this lawsuit too.
It did come out of this lawsuit.
Like I said, the lawsuit that keeps on giving. So apparently there's a team. I need to go find like with the tweet that showed this. There's a team that I forgot what they're called. It's an internal team, but what they do is they review games for the competition, then they distribute this review to people within the Xbox division, and they did a review of The Last of Us 2 that was actually really really good. They should really show some of these journalists how to do reviews, I think.
Ooh.
But no, it was really really good, and they said a lot of very positive things about PlayStation and how they do presentation and cinematic and narrative driven, and it almost makes you kind of wonder if like what the role of this group is this kind of influencing some of how the Xbox division or Xbox Game Studios may want their 23 studios excuse me, to give them the resources to kind of do those things. Now I know they give them the creative freedom to kind of make what they want, so you're not going to get them saying, hey, we want you to make an Uncharted game, right? But they're not going to hold them back either. And I think that some of these studios are going to want to make those kind of games. But yeah, I thought that was I read the review and I was like, wait, did I read it this morning? Yeah, I did read it this morning, and I thought it was pretty cool. What about you, man?
No,
dude, we lost you again.
What?
You started talking and then you cut out again.
Oh, I don't know what the heck's going on with Discord. Maybe I need to reset it after all this is all done. No, I caught it towards the end of the day when I was at work, and so I really didn't get a chance to read into the article at all about what's going on with that. So I'm kind of lost in this regard, but it makes sense. You would think that, especially since they have, Xbox has dev kits with PlayStation and stuff now, so it doesn't surprise me that they actually have people that go out and actually test these games and do like internal reviews and stuff on stuff like this. I mean, I would think PlayStation does the same thing too. They go out. Yeah, I mean, this honestly is nothing surprising. The fact that it came out in this lawsuit is the funniest thing, because like I said, we just keep hearing things that you probably already knew, but it's just a little shocking when you finally get a chance to get some type of confirmation around it. But I think it's a smart idea, very smart idea, because it gives you a way of basically internalizing what you might need to do better as a publisher and a developer around some of the games and stuff like that. Like, why do people like these games? Like, what is our thoughts on the game like this? Does this game this type of gameplay fit our the narrative that we want to put out as a publisher? I think those are all things. And if you're not trying to be better than the adversary that you're going against, in this case is Xbox versus PlayStation, then you're really not trying. And I think that was something that a lot of people were questioning last generation, was Xbox truly in it to win it? And let's be honest, Xbox isn't probably going to ever beat Sony when it comes to like worldwide sales, when it comes to console, because they don't have that appeal. But that could change. But there's a better chance that PlayStation.
Nor are they seeming to actually go after that either. Like they're not trying to. They stopped trying to do that. They stopped trying to beat Sony that way.
Yeah. So
they have a different approach.
They have a different approach, and like you said earlier, Game Pass is their new approach now, and that's the new exclusive for them. And but why not get some type of intel on your competition to see exactly what they're doing? Trust me, they did this with You don't think there was a team that was testing Stadia, and there was going to probably be a team that was testing Luna and all this other stuff when it came to these different streaming platforms and cloud services? You know, trust me, they had teams doing all that type of stuff. So this is something that isn't a surprise to me, but ultimately it's the cost of doing business. You know, if you're not doing stuff like this, then you're not preparing yourself for the inevitability of what could happen with the platform that you're going up against. And who wants to be surprised?
I found one of the team within Microsoft that does this stuff is called the portfolio team. And
makes sense.
I found I just want to read the last paragraph of this because it's really good. It says The Last of Us Part 2 is the exceedingly rare video game where what it accomplishes in moving forward the art of narrative storytelling in video games as a medium ultimately outweighs whether or not everyone quote unquote likes it, or even if everyone has quote unquote fun playing it. That said, we loved it, had a great time playing it, and find ourselves still thinking about its characters and stories even after finishing the playthrough.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Landis said it perfectly. He said, every company does this. We just don't usually get to read the report. And
yes, and that's why this lawsuit is so awesome, because you're seeing the inside of these companies. And I know some people don't care about this stuff. All I care about video games. All I care about video games, man. All right, well, you know.
Well, just like the email,
but like some of us like this Returnal stuff.
Well, just like the email that was internally sent from Cook about Tim Sweeney's comments about, you know, opening up the iOS platform and, you know, making it so.
Yeah,
and he was like,
who is this guy?
Who is this guy? He's like, was this guy one of our rehearsals?
I thought that was hilarious. That was pretty funny.
That it kind of lets you know, like, yo, it's not all sunshine and rainbows with these platforms and stuff, you know. Look, man, people keep wondering why Epic keeps making, and I thought Epic was crazy for going with this fight, because you are going after, like, I never thought I would see the day where Apple would be on trial for having their ecosystem that they produced, they matured, it's only available on their platforms, but they are literally it is like terrible for them to like charge what they're charging for people to be on their platform, but it's their platform. I thought I would never see that day, but then again, Fortnite is making Epic so much money that they could just feel like they could just dump money into this lawsuit. Who knows, man? They might get something out of this. I don't know, man. It's just
what they're going to get out of it if they win is way more money, because the game will be on more accessible, because it'll be through the App Store. And this is why they're teaming up with Microsoft on this. And it's funny because you can see the lawyers for Apple trying to bring the show that Microsoft is on Epic's side. So it's like you see it in some of the excerpts from the testimonies where they're trying to give that impression like they're one of them, but it's like, hey, look, you're doing to them the same thing similar things that you're doing to Epic. And what even though it hasn't been mentioned too much, the reason why Apple basically made an excuse to not allow Game Pass on the iOS, the App Store, was because they got Apple Arcade,
True.
and that's business. I remember Verizon not allowing Google Wallet or Google Play to be on when it first came out, to be on Android phones that were on the Verizon network, because they were trying to develop their own app that would have did the same thing. This happens often where someone who has the control doesn't allow a competing software in an open that not open store, because it's not open store. You have to get a license to put it on there, but to not want any competition in their area. You just fell off that building. That's hilarious.
Yeah. As I was hitting the melee button, because melee and run, I had them mixed up, and I was like,
Yeah.
why am I not running?
But no, that's interesting, you know, because it you see these companies try to manipulate this a particular market that they may have more control over than others, to kind of fix things for them. But usually that really goes to show when your product is not good enough that you do that. The example I use with Verizon, they end up not even doing the app. So it was like, for what? You basically prevented people from using Google Play for what? Like, people could have been using Google Pay all this time, or they weren't able to over a failed app project that you didn't even go forward with. Apple Arcade makes Apple money, but as Lori Wright was trying to show in the in the court case, Apple Arcade's games are different than the games that are in Game Pass. There's literally no reason for Apple to do this. There are different kinds of games. People who like Apple Arcade and like the games in it aren't going to like unsubscribe from Apple Arcade over Game Pass.
Right.
Apple Arcade doesn't have Halo or Gears. So it's just like, it's got a lot of indie titles from indie developers. Now, does it compare? In a lot of people's eyes, we'll probably say no, it doesn't compare to Game Pass. But we're primarily PC and console gamers, and those games and Game Pass will resonate more with us than it would a mobile gamer. Like, the Game Pass is not a mobile gamer's paradise or anything. So it's silly. It's silly. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I don't know when this court case is going to be over, but I hope it never ends.
couple at least
I hope it never ends.
At least another
Keep it
year.
going.
At least another year. At least another year. They're gonna fight about the billions of dollars that each other deserves with each other. But yeah, man, this was amazing episode 33 of the DPS podcast, and shout out to the 50 people that are still here. I truly appreciate all the love and support you guys give to us, and we gonna get up out of here.
Absolutely.
We're gonna get up out of here so we can get back to our daily routine. Slow-Mo might go play a game, but he might also go to sleep. Who really knows what Slow-Mo's gonna do? So Slow-Mo, why don't you tell these people what you do plan on doing for the rest of your night and what you got going on throughout the next week?
I might play a game. I might not. I have not decided yet. I haven't ate dinner, so I'm gonna eat dinner, and then depending on how bad the itis hits me, may determine whether I'm playing a game or whether I'm going to sleep. So yeah, but yo, great show, man. You know, as usual, you know, we normally kill it. You know, if I do say so myself, and yeah, I think we killed it tonight. But who else killed it tonight was our chat.
Yes.
DPS podcast chat is always on fire. So shout out to y'all. Y'all did a great job tonight with us. And yeah, just you guys have a great night. And for as far as my channel goes, of course, DPS will be on my channel next week. We got a special guest coming. You guys will not guess who it is. It's an industry person. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say who it is. We're gonna let you know next week. I'm gonna let you guys mull over that and try to guess who it is. But yeah, we got someone special coming through. It's going to be a great show next week on my channel, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, as usual. I got a couple videos I'm working on for two indie games from Korean developers that look really awesome. I'm working on just getting all the relevant information that on those games before I come out with them. So look out for that within the next week. And Forte, what you got going, man? Forte? It's your boy,
It's your
Gamer
boy.
Forte.
My Discord reset itself. But yeah,
Good grief.
I don't know. I gotta reset. It probably need to be reset. I'm gonna reset it as soon as we're done with this. But nah, man, this great show. Great to be here with you, man. Got a couple of things going on the channel and stuff. Just trying to get back to everything to normalcy. But I did want to bring up. We are talking to individuals about bringing channel memberships to our individual channels and stuff for DPS and just the channels in general. So I'm going to put a poll up on the channel asking people, well, not even really a poll, just a actual topic, and I want people to basically just comment in there what kind of emotes would you like to see on the show and stuff like that. You know, I kind of want to source it so it's more community driven than it's just the idea that me and Slow-Mo come up with. You know, we'll still do that, but I want to have some things that the community want to drive to on both our channels and stuff like that. And we're going to announce more details on that over the next coming weeks until we implement it. But definitely want to get the ball rolling on that. So take a look at the community page. If not tonight, tomorrow, more like it tomorrow is what I'm going to put up. And, you know, we can start the conversation down there. And also, if you want, DM us on Twitter if you want to just give us some feedback on that end as well.
Yes, DM the DPS podcast
yep.
Twitter account. That is DPS_podcast_. Come follow the channel. That you'll see all of our updates and what we're doing next. Also, my bad on us not doing the second part of the It Takes Two stream. We're gonna try to get that next week, because we were supposed to do it this week, but we got real busy. And yeah, so schedule's not aligned correctly. We'll try to get it done next week for you guys. So look out for that as well.
Yep.
And no Racer. Okay, so like people are getting, it's not David Jaffe, it's not Sarah Bond Racer. It's not Sarah Bond.
Man,
so
don't we all wish it was Sarah Bond?
I would love for it to be Sarah Bond. The amount of Game Pass questions I have
for Sarah Bond.
I want to know everything. So how do you pitch this to developers? How much money do you spend on average on this?
How long is it going to be until you become?
Let's kill this concurrent to active subscriber argument when you show your numbers. Like, I mean, just like I would ask her a gazillion questions, but you know. So maybe we'll have her on one day. We'll see. But no, it's not Sarah Bond. I don't think you guys are going to guess. Actually, they may guess Forte. I mean, this person is pretty popular, so
he is he is pretty popular. But
see,
she.
You already messed it up. You said he, so you already given hints.
Well, you said he first. I said
along. This person.
You said this person. He is very popular. That's
I did not say that. I said this person is very popular, and I didn't add no he in there at all. We're trying to throw this on me.
It could be a he they. You never know. He they, she they. You know.
Oh my god! In the show, man.
It can be whatever you want it to be. Slow-Mo. I just want to ask Sarah Bond. How long is it going to be until Phil Spencer retires and you become the new head of Xbox? That's what.
Oh man, she ain't gonna answer that one.
Yeah, she ain't gonna answer that question because we know she's being groomed right now.
The big question I want to know is where is their target subscriber number for Game Pass? Like where
does the rubber meet the road? Where they feel like we got enough? Where we're in a comfortable place?
Where we at this point we can drop Xbox Live completely. You know, we can start doing things like clearly they would like to drop the revenue portion down, because everywhere in the console arena, the platforms take 30%. Epic Games has got the ball rolling and being more competitive with them trying to compete against Steam on PC, and they dropped theirs at 12. Microsoft Store on PC has dropped theirs at 12. There was this talk that they were thinking about doing so on Xbox, and that would have made them super competitive against PlayStation. But I don't think they could just they make a profit right now. I don't think they will be making a profit if they only took a 12% share. So
listen,
but if I want to know what that target Game Pass subscriber number is, where they can just really, go all out.
Well, I think Racer believes you kind of want to know other targets. He said, "Oh, I have a lot of questions for Sarah Bond, none gaming related though. Of course, Slow-Mo wastes that women's time."
Hey, that's Racer. He got a lot of personal questions that he know damn well she ain't going to answer. That's on him.
Listen, man, Slow-Mo will have questions too if he wasn't married.
Can we be professional?
Yeah, we can.
Can you stop?
Well, just follow what the chat says, man.
We
got one of the most professional chats in the district. I mean, in the business.
In the district.
I was thinking of my district at the moment.
In the district.
Yeah, in our district of gaming.
You are in rare form tonight. All right, and you're probably gonna say good morning instead of good night when we finish this. This is.
You know what? That's actually a good thing. Appreciate all you guys. Have a good night, a good morning, a good afternoon, no matter where in the world you are, because we do have people that watch from all different time zones. And you guys have a great week, and we will see you for episode 34 next week.
Yeah, he cut out
Tuesday.
Again. Yeah, have a great night.
Yeah, we'll I cut out again. I cut out again. We're confirmed with the guest on Monday or Tuesday next week, and we'll tweet it out to let you know who it is. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.